Hold music. Enter.
Do, 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 do.
There's like this one hold music, and it's like I can't even do it. It's like I was about to do it, and it's terrible. It's like I can't. It's like and I saw this like video.
Like, I don't want it to turn into our next intro.
I'm like, that's literally where my mind went. Oh, that's so funny. Speechless. I don't know what to ask you.
If that's your kink, I'm so happy for you.
I will throw my old Kindle across the room because I'm not doing that tonight.
And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, fellow bookworms. Welcome to Bookmark Your Next Chapter, a podcast hosted by Katie,
Amanda,
and Kristen. Three friends who love books. Well, friends, Soul of Blood and Ash. See, look it. I remembered it. Look at me go. Not because I just wrote it down before we started recording.
You're giving yourself too much credit here.
You did mostly have it, though. You know, we got there in the end. So today, on today's episode, we're going to be covering chapters 23 through to 33, which includes the chapters Poppy through to Good Graces, because this book has to be confusing and not give us fucking numbers.
I know it is. I'm still not over it. It's
I know.
Bugging me a lot.
But before we do that,
yes, before we get into anything, as always, we are an R-rated podcast. So while there isn't any hanky-panky in these chapters, any swearing, any,
penises,
innuendos, those, yep, all on the table. So if you haven't already, send any children, spouses, parents, anyone you don't want listening to this with you, send them on their way. It is book club time.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Finger guns.
Insert like music now. That's funny.
Oh, alrighty. So I'm going to start us off with chapter 23, Poppy. So our chapter opens with Cas immediately becoming Poppy's guard. Like right from that room, they're just like, let's go, you're guard now. And him, along with Poppy, Victor, and Tawny, leave the room. Cas asks Poppy where she would like to go. Poppy doesn't answer, again, because she's still too scared to speak to him in front of him. So Tawny does for her by saying they want to go back to Poppy's room. So Cas looks to Poppy and says, "Is this okay?" And she simply nods. So they make their way to Poppy's room. And this chapter was super fascinating for me because we've heard the whole conversation before, but it was so interesting to hear Cas's.
It has been kind of cool, these set of chapters.
Yes.
A few moments where it was like, interesting.
I know. I'm really liking this book. I was kind of worried it would be too repetitive, but yeah, I'm really liking it.
I know. I think I was saying to Katie the other day, I really, I'm so enjoying rereading this because, and I think maybe I said it last time too, I've missed the dynamic between Poppy and Cas that they had and that build up. And so this book makes me happy.
Yep.
Agreed.
It was a nice palate cleanser because the last couple books have been really heavy, and this kind of brought back the lightness and funness.
It did.
Yes.
So they make their way to Poppy's room, and as they go through the rooms, every single servant or person just immediately stops conversation, and they're basically just staring at Poppy. And Cas is realizing they don't view her as a person; they only see her as what she represents. And this is hitting him hard because that's how he felt when he was captured by the Blood Crown.
Yeah.
He became a thing or a tool, and he almost forgot himself that he was a person. And he's I want to make sure that she knows that she's a person. And I thought that was very powerful.
It hit me too, this chapter, just realizing how Poppy can't talk to anyone and how she doesn't talk to anyone, and just how lonely would that
or talk in front of anyone, let alone to someone.
Yes.
And I forgot that she can't even have lunch with someone. What are you talking about?
She can't be seen eating in the presence of someone else. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What a lonely life. Oh my goodness.
But I feel with Casteel, comparing it to when he was under captivity of the Blood Crown, how he also he was a thing, not a person. It shows us this early, we don't even realize in the first book, but these are reasons too, I would say that Cas is falling in love with Poppy. Like, I get that they're
Yes.
heartmates and whatnot, but having this connection with somebody already on such a deep level, even though they don't really know each other yet, but they understand something about each other that nobody else could possibly understand. And it's cool to see how early on that he's already kind of getting this deep connection to Poppy without her even realizing it because of the similarities of what they've gone through together.
Yeah.
Right. Like he compares her figurative cage to his literal one. And it's
exactly.
crazy.
I don't know. This is also very random, not related, but it came in because I think in this, he's like, the maiden. And I was like, we probably talked about this. It just hit me this time. Did we talk about Millie being the first maiden?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we discussed it.
This is literally just hitting me here. I'm like, she probably was the first, like, and then.
Yes, that is my understanding. But they all said that she was killed by the Dark One. But I think it was just the fact that she didn't survive.
She just didn't survive her ascension.
Yes, you got
I wonder
it.
if that will ever get confirmed on page because, like, it seems pretty obvious, but like, I don't think we've gotten full confirmation.
No,
have we
I
on
don't
that.
think so.
Like, I mean, Isbeth hasn't been like she was the first maiden, but
Right.
I feel like it's just been heavily implied.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you're right.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like
Poppy
'cause-
or Millie almost needs to say it. Like,
yeah, that's
she
what I was
has
gonna
said
say.
Yeah.
that I was the failed. She
First
said
attempt or
something. I
whatever.
can't think of what exactly. Yeah, there's like some kind of phrase she has said, but she has never even said I was the first maiden. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So
It just, I think just hearing like the maiden, I'm like, oh, like Millie was probably treated this way. And maybe that's why she treats Poppy the way she does too. Like, it kind of hits different, like reading it again as Poppy as the maiden again. Like,
you're right.
So do we think then, this has got my brain spinning. So do you remember when Poppy has the meeting with the Duchess and she like freaks out because Poppy's gift's developing and she's like, this is what happened with the first maiden. So do we think like, because before we're like, oh, maybe she was just lying. But like, do we think that was Millie?
ooh,
Like, would she have known Millie?
maybe.
I think that I thought initially that Poppy's powers were going to grow to a point that she would be able to feel from the Ascended, and I thought that's what she was worried about. I still kind of don't understand because they seemed nervous that her powers were growing.
Yeah, like she was freaked right out. She like broke a whole chair.
But they knew that she was a god, and they might even have known she was a primal god at this point. So I'm still really confused by that whole thing because even like Millie aside, they knew what Poppy was and what the plan was for her. So why were they acting so weirdly like freaked out when they knew she was like coming into her like culling and what that meant? And I don't know.
Do we
it's
think
also
that
so weird.
maybe like the fear came more from the fact that they realized Poppy knows how to use the gift? Like maybe they were hoping to keep her.
Maybe.
I wonder if it's they hope to keep her sheltered more or like they're worried
like in the dark about it.
Yeah. And maybe like they might even have inklings that like she isn't like I mean the Duke quote unquote punishes her, like she's not like the perfect person, so maybe they're like oh fuck, like this is actually happening. And I think it's one thing to be like, yeah, I know you're a god, and another thing to be like, oh fuck, like you are a god, you could
like
crush
seeing
me.
it happen
Yes,
in front
like,
of your eyes, right?
Like she could kill them like that and they could do nothing about it. So that could also be part of it too. Like
that's a good call. That's a good call because they know that like her powers could be out of control, like because she doesn't even know how to contain them, right? They're like, are we gonna just get like oopsie daisied when she gets mad one day and like you know
Aunt Meatfoot.
Yes.
But it's also strange, like Millie is so much older, like thousands of years, like, right? Because she was there when like for a long time. So like I don't even know if the maiden would have been with the Tiermans, the first maiden. Like, do you know what I mean? It kind of sounds like she
like how old are the Tiermans?
But like, I don't know exactly. Like, I hope that we get some sort of backstory.
Do we know Millie's
on
thousands of years old? Like, I can't remember.
She was there when Malek and I feel like when Cas was enslaved. No, maybe
Cas was only like 50 years ago.
Maybe I'm just
because
no, Cas was entombed for 50 years. I think Malek was a couple hundred years.
Yeah, Cas is like. Yeah, Malek is longer, but Cas was only captured for like 50 years or something.
But it was Cas first and then Malek, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought that Millie was a thing while Cas was there. So maybe
Yes.
I'm wrong on saying thousands, but hundreds anyways.
Yeah, hundreds at least.
Like, I think the Duke and
Right?
Duchess are hundreds of, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard because, like, again, I remember being like, Cas was only, like, captured for 50 years. Like, I thought it was, like, hundreds of years. Like,
Same.
it's so...
The concept of time
it's
here,
so
we don't have a
hard,
really
yes.
good, like checkpoint. Okay, this is this. And, like,
Yeah.
even when...
In 2002, this happened.
Yes. I don't even know how much time is passing as we're reading. I'm like, is this weeks? Is this a day? Like, how
Yes.
much time?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
The only time we got it when she was depressed, and she's like, it's been 31 days and 26 hours and
Yes.
5 minutes.
Good call. We did have
so
it then.
true.
I
the
can't
only
wait to play.
time.
And she was too dark into a depression for us to enjoy the
Yes.
nod to time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so they get back to the room, and Victor like shuts the door and tells Cas that he is to guard. Or sorry, the girls go in the room and shut. Let me try that again. I'm trying to like decipher my note as I went. Okay, so when they get back to the room, the girls go in. They shut the door, and Victor tells Cas that he is to guard them. And while he goes to speak to the commander, he is not to leave his post for anything, not even the gods, which I thought was an interesting nod. Because he is a victor.
Same.
And he is aligned with the fates.
gods? Like
Yes.
G-O-D? I
Yes.
thought he said guards.
Oh,
gods.
no. Well, he might have said guards and gods, but gods was definitely mentioned.
Oh,
when
I
went.
He
totally
says,
missed
yeah,
that. That's
I have it right
weird.
here. It says, don't leave your station, not for anyone or anything. And Cas like, understood. Not even for the gods, he insisted.
Oh, that seems way
Mhm.
more. There's more meaning to that.
Right?
That's,
Yes.
I thought
Especially
he was
because
saying
like
like guards, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
because like Victor is a victor,
Mhm.
which is aligned with the array, aka the fates, which are aligned with the gods. So like,
Yes.
does he mean that literally?
and
Questions
could
I
he
have.
mean like Colas, kind of like, even though like,
Yeah.
because that's like the bad
I
god
don't
that's
know.
here,
Yes.
right? I don't know. Weird. Okay, that's
Yeah.
so.
There's so much to be like.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Wow.
Right? It's like
Okay.
early foreshadowing to
Yes.
what
Mhm.
Victor is.
Hmm.
So Victor leaves, and Cas can hear the conversation through the door that Poppy and Tawny are having, thanks to his heightened Atlantean hearing.
This was game changing to me. I was like, so he could hear everything this whole
Everything.
time. Like
Yep.
I got so embarrassed. Like just thinking, I'm just thinking
Like secondhand embarrassment?
Yes, I'm like, I don't even remember the things that were said, but I am feeling so secondhand embarrassment. Like if I was Poppy right now hearing this, I'd be like, oh my god, you heard everything me and Tawny ever effing said about you before. Like, yeah, I was like, whoa, I'm so embarrassed. And also, I was really excited from this moment forward because he was privy to the information that was being said behind closed doors to how this was going to play out.
Yes. Agreed.
I
Sorry, you
Go
go,
ahead.
Kristen.
was gonna
Nope,
say I
you go.
loved like this whole conversation.
Me
And then-
too.
Like hearing Tawny talk about like Cas too, and then thinking about them in the present where like Tawny's still like, I'm gonna punch
Sass
you.
a
Like
little, yeah.
it's I just
Yes.
like it just this is like a perfectly wrapped present with a nice little bow on top.
really
It
was.
It really was.
We
And the way
needed
that
this.
like Casteel, his inner monologue of like, I love Tawny and no,
She's
I'm
my
not.
favorite person now. She's been demoted. She's my
Yes.
favorite person again.
It was a really fun chapter to read because of that.
Yeah, I
was.
agree. Yes. And like Tawny's like gushing over Cas, like, oh my god, he's your guard. Like, this is so exciting. And she's like, I thought you'd be more excited. And Poppy's like, because she hadn't told Tawny to this point. what had
Yes.
happened.
Yes. Well,
So Tawny's like, okay, friggin' spill the beans. What the fuck happened? Because you're clearly hiding something from me.
Yes.
So Poppy recounts the story, which Cas hears the whole thing, and he's like, this is so interesting to hear this from her point of view. And we're thinking, same, Cas. Same.
Yeah. Yes.
So she says how Cas and her ended up kissing, and she mentions the seer, aka Willa Collins. She doesn't, and I was like, oh. And Cas thinks, well, that's impossible. Like, there are no seers. There's not even changelings in Macedonia other than Jansen. And I'm like, oh,
Right?
like, we know so much now.
So crazy.
I know.
But I also found that interesting. Hold on. I think I have a note here about that because he said specifically, like, because he's the prince, that he would have known Like, he's like, that's kind of, I think he says that's impossible because she was just speculating. Oh, it must be a seer or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Cass
yeah.
was like, no, that's impossible. Like, I would know. And a part of me, like, I was always sus of Willa. And this makes me sus again. Like, how is it that the most elder of elders, like high up on like the royal, like people that they go to, they don't know that she's here? That seems weird to me.
And it's not her first time being here because she wrote the whole book.
Correct.
This whole thing confused me because like Willa Collins is on the elders. Like, I don't think Cass not knowing she's a seer, that doesn't mean, to me, that doesn't give alarm bells, because like the king and queen could know and the elders could know, and Cass just doesn't get to know that until he's king. So
he also hasn't been back to Atlantia, and
like,
yeah,
he doesn't even know
centuries.
that this lady is a
But,
seer.
like,
It's this kind of thing.
if she's on the council for the elders, like Cass should know that, and he doesn't seem to realize, oh, this diary by Willa Collins, oh hey, that's an elder in Atlantia. Like,
And yet he didn't know her. Remember when like
yes.
he met her for the first time, the same time Poppy met her for the first time. And it was like, how do you not know this oldest, seemingly really important elder of like the court?
Like,
but
to me, it just felt like a plot hole. I'm like, this
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
yeah, that does kind of seem plot holy.
Unless like I'm trying to like rationalize it in my brain. Like, did he not know because he wasn't trained to be the prince because that was Malik's job, and he's been like, nope, not doing it, not doing it.
Yeah,
but, like,
he was really involved with the army, I guess, right? Like
Well, that's
his
a good
brother was
point.
more like
Yeah.
royal trained, and he was
but
more
I
like
still
battle
feel
trained.
like you should know that. Like, I
Same,
still
I
feel
find it a
like
little-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
if you're king or queen, like, you're gonna be like, okay, yes, this is my son, and he's going to be prince. But should something happen, we also need to train the
Here's the
replacement,
backup. Here's the
right?
spare.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And I
It
just
just
thought
seems
it
plot
was-
holy.
I thought it was odd that Casteel like mentally said to himself, if there was a seer here, I would know about it. Like,
Yeah.
that seems like a weird thing to throw in at this point when she was a seer and she was there. Like, I don't know. That seemed weird to me. And I'm like, are we going to like, because why even say that? He could just be like, oh, strange. Maybe there are seers here. But he was like, no, I would know. But he doesn't know. I'm just like,
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
very weird.
Something's here. Yeah. Agreed.
So Poppy is next explaining what went down in the room, and Cass is getting hard just thinking about it. And my
Oh
note
my
was, Amanda
gosh.
and Kristen, you're probably both loving this.
Loving it.
Yes. I think I have I don't know where in this conversation, but I put a pulse of warmth is hitting his cock just enough to make him stir. Oh, thanks, Cass. Like,
Yep.
so crazy.
That was in that part for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
So chapter ends with Tawny and Poppy discussing whether or not that they think Cass, or Hawk as they keep calling him, recognized Poppy, and what he might do with that information if he had. Tawny says things are about to get a whole lot more exciting around here, and Cass smiles and agrees with that statement. So
Yep.
Here we go. That was fun. I enjoyed that chapter.
Yes.
That was a lot.
It was a good one.
Yes.
So, chapter 24, Arrogant and Cocky. So the chapter starts with Victor returning after Tawny returns to her own bed chambers. And Victor has like a white cloth that he like puts into Cass's hands. And honestly, I didn't really understand what this was. He says it's like the mantle of the royal
It's
guard.
the veil. Like, oh,
What do you-
I thought it was the veil that like Poppy. Like I thought. Oh, never mind. I was thinking it was like Poppy's veil.
Yeah, and I had to like listen again. I'm listening to it. So
weird.
And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then Cass was disgusted. And I'm like, I don't know what
That's
this
why
is.
I thought it was the veil, because he's like, oh, this is the thing. Blah blah.
No,
blah.
I'm like, is this the first time we're hearing about this random cloth? That's like what I'm like, why is he giving? Do they all have to wear it? Like, I had no idea what was going on here. But,
weird.
Yeah, so that was strange. So Cass and Victor then have what I'm going to call a very professional, like short and sweet kind of conversation. And in the sense of like, Cass says something to Victor and Victor's like, do you want me to just be pretending I'm happy that you got this position? Like, they're trying to be really like, okay, and he's like, yeah, I'm not
Business.
gonna, yes. And he's like, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm happy you're here.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just kind of funny to listen to Cass and Victor, because we never really got that perspective before, right? We just kind of knew that Victor didn't seem fond of him, but this is like Victor constantly being like, I hate you.
It kind of gives like protective dad, like even more
does.
so. Like we were
Yes.
already thinking that, but like seeing it from this side, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, like I'm sure
Yeah.
some of it
Yes.
is because like he's her Victor and is probably
Yes.
sensing some not nice things,
Something
but
there, yes.
but it still comes off as like protective dad, and it's so
It
cute.
does.
It made me like Victor even more, and I
Same.
didn't
Yeah.
think like that I could possibly do
I
that.
know.
So,
I know.
so as Cas and Victor are bickering, Victor is like, I'm like, he's complaining to Commander Jansen, and it's just funny because obviously like Cas has him in his pocket. So
Yeah.
like
That's
he's like,
literally
you
how
can
Cas
do
got
all
the
you
gig.
want. Yeah, it's not going to change his decision. And Victor's like, I also know that you are qualified, but like because of this and this and this and this, but then he ends with, but you are arrogant and cocky, and like basically saying like
Yeah.
that's your downfall. Cas then says, I believe those two things are the same thing, and Victor calls him a smartass. And then Casteel earns a bit of unwanted respect for Victor because of the exchange he had. And it's cool to see Casteel like grow to respect Victor throughout.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even
This-
reluctantly.
Yes. Especially when there's always talks about like him having to like go eventually, right? And it's
Yes.
nice to see this buildup happen to a point where he's seeing Victor as a person. And I feel
Yes.
like Cas is growing in that sense in these chapters where he's seeing people as who they are and no longer as just a mission. And it's cool
Mhm.
to see that growth.
Well, do you remember, and I can't remember if it must be the it must be the second book. But like Kieran has a conversation with Poppy and he's like, like he's changed for the better, and like you've kind of brought back like the cast that we remember, and I feel
Yeah.
like this is that, you know what I mean? Like it's
We're
like
seeing that
hints.
happen. Yes,
Yes.
good
Yes,
call.
in real time.
You're absolutely
I
right.
had a note here, and I don't know if you've touched on this yet, Amanda, so apologies if
ahead.
you're going to go
No,
into
go
it.
ahead.
But I have a note saying, is the person that Cas thinks Victor reminds him of, is it Jasper? Is that what he's referring to? Because he makes a comment somewhere in here, like,
yes, it sounds familiar to me.
and I was like, oh, interesting, because he says something about like
Yes, I think he does say
my
that. I'm
friend's
just-
father or something, and I'm like, is this supposed to be Jasper? And that kind
I
of
think yes. This is very familiar to
Yeah.
me. And I have a whole bunch of points here, so I may get to it, but I think you're
Okay.
right. And I do think that it is Jasper. He might even say that.
he says like my friend's father or something, and I'm like, I don't know if we know any other father.
Maybe I just assumed Jasper as well then because
Yeah.
of what he said. So Victor then threatens Casteel, and Casteel kind of smirks, and Victor's like, I'm not fucking around. Like, you think this is funny? And Cas was like, oh, they're here. He's like, no, you just remind me of somebody else that I know. And that's kind of all I said about it. But yeah, I think you're right. And it was Jasper. Victor asked him like what the commander has done to prepare him for this role. And Casteel says pretty much just the basics, but he hasn't shared any details about like Poppy's schedule and the rules and what is or is not allowed. So Victor explains to him that him and Cas will alternate days and nights, that it has always been that way. And he mentions that if there is anything that he needs to know, that basically that she's having these nightmares. And he brings that up to him and says, like, Cas makes the assumption is because of the scars, and he says yes. And then Cas kind of tries to pry a bit more, and Victor's like not giving him any more information. And Cas says, well, like I need to know more about the person I'm protecting. And Victor snaps back and says, you just need to know what your job is, and that's it. And then just do it. And I thought it was really cute because Victor's trying to protect Poppy again in this moment by like not
Yes.
giving personal information that she wouldn't want him to know, because as her guard, he could do whatever, right? But this
Mhm.
shows again that there's more to that relationship, which I really
Mhm.
like to see. So the first thing that Cas starts questioning, because eventually Victor does tell him about the scars and how they were in a craven attack, but he doesn't go too much farther than that. And Cas is like, how did she survive this? And Victor's like,
Which,
well,
like,
she was
how is that
chosen.
not a fucking red light? Like, I don't get it. Like, how did he
I
not
know.
assume this? And
I
like,
know.
even like later on in this section of chapters, he says something like, oh well, like I'm not scared of a craven because like it can't affect me if I get scratched.
Yes.
And I'm like, are you not putting
Well, how
that
did
together?
you not put? Yes, it's like,
Like,
how
I
did you
don't-
not connect those dots?
Yeah, honestly.
Yes. So yeah, because he questioned it for a second, and then Victor's like, "Well, she was chosen," and it kind of just like was
I
like,
know.
okay, like didn't
And
really
he-
push it more.
And he even brings up the whole like Kieran with the shroud thing. He's like, oh well,
Yes.
maybe it's He's like, that aside, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no!
I know. They always do that. Well, like, that's not important right now. And then we move on. And it's like, yes, it is. So also it's mentioned here how Poppy was 6 years old. I don't know if I forgot about this, but I was like, holy shit, that's young. Like, I don't know why, but I think I just forgot. And like Oakley literally turned 6 this year, and maybe that's like why, but I was just like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like that really hit me, even though apparently I already knew that. Victor, I know, I'm like, what? Oh my God.
I know. Gray is 5.5. I get it.
Yes, it's so wild.
Yeah.
So Victor then says, you may hear her scream, and like, please don't bring it up to her if she does. And Cas is like, well, how am I supposed to know that she's screaming from a nightmare or screaming because like I need to go save her? And he was like, if she's screaming, it's a dream. She is not going to scream if somebody's like attacking her.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And Cas is like,
he's like, my girl can defend herself.
Yeah, he's like, last thing she gonna do is scream, bitch.
I taught her well.
Yes. You could tell it was like a proud moment for Victor to be able to say that.
Proud papa.
Yes. Victor confirms she's not to be interrupted early in the morning because that is the time for prayers and meditation. And then tells Cas that she normally takes her meals in her own chambers, and the only people allowed in the chambers with Poppy and without a guard is the Duke, the Duchess, or Tawny. And Casteel was like, wait a second, like, has the Duke ever visited her in her chambers before? And Victor says no, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So then Casteel starts thinking about Lord Asshole, and he's like, is she allowed interactions with like the lords and ladies in wait and whatnot? And Victor's like, well, sometimes they do interact with her, but like it shouldn't happen. Like they shouldn't be alone, but like sometimes they request her presence. And he's like, is there a particular one I should keep an eye on? Because he's thinking about Lord Asshole and what Britta had said to him, right? And Victor literally brings him up and says, like, I like to keep him away from her. Victor then proceeds to explain a very long list of things that she cannot do, like eat within the company of others, speak within the company of others, leave the castle grounds, etc., etc. And Casteel's like, what does she do with the rest of her time? And Victor's big, that's it. Like, that is how her time is spent.
That's the end of the story.
Yes. And again, another moment where Casteel was like, holy shit. Like, I think it was a big realization of the reality of her situation. And, yeah, so he's like thinking that stuff to himself about like how lonely that would be. And then Victor cuts into Casteel's thoughts and he's like, you used her name. And like, Victor's like, or Casteel, sorry. He's like, what? And Victor said, you used her name when you gave your vows to protect her. Why? And then Casteel responds and says, I wanted her to know that somebody saw her, which I thought was amazing for him to say. I get into chapter close now. Anybody got anything they want to jump in on? Okay.
Nope.
So the chapter ends with Casteel again mentioning that he had a little bit more respect grow for Victor again, which is becoming a nuisance because he was saying that if Poppy gets called to the capital, Victor will probably be one of the guards that would accompany them. And as a result, he would have to be killed. And we're like, bum, bum, bum.
Reading that again, I'm like, oh fuck, we have to relive his death.
I know.
Right?
And
we have
from
to
Cass's
go through
POV
that again.
Yeah.
And like Cass's POV is like good, like there's gonna be so much guilt. Like so much guilt.
But
I
one thing I thought about in this moment was I'm glad it happened the way it happened because I think that they would have killed Victor had he not died there and had he accompanied them. He would have been killed in that moment, and Poppy and his relationship would never be where it is now if that happened.
No.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not good no matter what, but yes, like, I'm very excited to see, because Cas was missing for a big period of time during all that chaos that happened, and like him killing the Duke. I'm excited to see that
what
side
he was
of
doing.
The story. Yeah.
Yes.
And how he got the Duke, and
Ooh, that's exciting.
I think we're going to have some vindication to see what he does to the Duke and how he probably says like, this is because of what you did to Poppy, and
fucking asshole.
Yes, exactly.
Love it.
I'm excited for that part, not for Victor's death.
No.
But anyway, we'll move on. Chapter 25, or Made a New Friend. So our chapter starts off with Cas moving a loosened brick, seeing a note. that says, quote, "I've made a new friend," end quote. He seems to know what the note means as he moves through
I know, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like, you made a new friend, yay!
Yeah.
So he moves through a bunch of people. The street is busy, but he makes a point to say that it's almost always like that as they have people working day and night. He makes notes of the handkerchiefs on the doors and that there's 3. And he remembers what Joel said about the maiden. And again, I'm like, okay, I thought it was supposed to be hush hush. Like, it seems very, very easy for the Duke to find out that his maiden is going to these doors.
Do you know what I thought in this moment? It didn't happen, but I thought to myself, he saw these handkerchiefs and I was like, is he gonna catch Poppy's smell? And then, you know how Victor and Poppy like do that dignity? And like, I kind of thought, was he gonna like catch them doing it, but like keep himself secret? Because like, yeah, I thought that was going to happen in this moment. I was like, ooh, cool, we're going to see that. And then it didn't happen. And I kind of thought it was a missed opportunity. Though. I guess it could. But I was like, I feel like that would be a cool thing to play it that way. But it did not.
Yes. So he continues to move through the people, noting the different stands. One that sells meat, which he ignores until he sees 2 young children who are too young for this kind of life. I know. I was so sad. He goes back to the meat vendor and buys them food. They don't want to take it, but he insists, and then basically puts it in their hand. Here you go. But he makes note to say it's safer than giving them money. And I was crying at this, and I said, "Thank you, Cas, for feeding them."
I know.
And I wonder if he had not met Poppy yet, if he would have even you know what I mean? Is this like his humanity coming back? Like maybe he wouldn't have even noticed. Like I almost wonder if this is the Cas coming back that we're seeing.
Yes. So with the children fed or have food in their hands, Cas shifts his attention to the back of the building and he goes through the side entrance where, quote, they know who he is. And I'm like, who is they? And we find out that they're the dissenters.
Yep.
Before we get too far into this, I have a note and I think I missed it. Sorry. Can I just plug this in?
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but we had a conversation in an episode where I think we've had it in a few episodes actually, but we were trying to figure out who ruled the Blood Crown before Isbeth.
Weird that you bring this up because I asked this in this set of episodes.
And we get confirmation that no one was. So the exact quote is, "Providing for those who were unable to do so for themselves for whatever reason wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible. Atlantia had always done it, even when we ruled the entire continent." So before the War of Two Kings, Atlantia owned everything. And the Blood Crown rose up, I think, and pushed them back to what is now Atlantia and made their kingdom.
I have a big plot hole question based on this. I'm just scrolling through my notes to find it because I was just like thinking about this to myself as well. I didn't catch that but you're right. That confirms that the Blood Crown didn't exist.
Right.
Okay, but prior
I think
to...
I assumed this.
But like...
I'm like, you guys are talking like confused. I'm like, I think I knew this. All right.
But this is what doesn't make sense about it. I'm just trying to find my notes. Okay, I'm just going to freaking wing it and go off of my memory as best as possible. But if it doesn't make sense, how come not everybody doesn't just know who the Blood Crown is? Like, you're telling me that you have a king and queen of Atlantia, okay? And then the king is exiled and his mistress, and suddenly exactly them are the Blood Crown and you don't recognize them and you're like, oh, that's Queen Ileana, not the same person as the other people that were just like, how did nobody know it was the exact people that they just exiled? Like, you exile them, then they just suddenly start to rule.
Well, Malik wasn't exiled. He was entombed.
Yeah.
Sorry, then her
assumed dead.
But like, and then Isbeth, does nobody recognize her?
I
she was
wonder
a
how public-facing
mistress.
She was, though. Yeah.
If she was a mistress, they would have been hush hush, keep it secret.
Yeah, I don't think she would have been super public facing.
Yeah.
So just nobody
just like
knew
no one knows Malik is.
Like, come on, someone would have seen her.
Yeah, and just all of the sudden, it just seems like if it didn't exist at all, and how did she convince all of these people that lived there to just suddenly start believing in her? Like, I need to see like the origin story of Isbeth.
I know.
You know,
and
it makes no sense.
I think the series that we have not read any of the books for yet, the Primal series, I think we probably find that out in those books.
Because like, it just seems odd to me. Like, how is no one like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. So interesting. Okay.
Yeah. We'll anyway, sorry. I meant to watch for that and I missed my window.
All good. All good.
Continue where you were.
So we find out they're in a slaughterhouse and on the meat packing floor. He enters the underground ice cellar where we hear Kieran call out he is freezing his bits off. They laugh about it and very funny. So this is when we're introduced to Lord Hale DeVries.
DeVries?
I read DeVries.
Yeah, I think it's DeVries.
I'm like, I am struggling to read my note. It's
I went to
blue
school
on
with
black.
a DeVries, so and I was pretty sure that's how it was spelled.
Same.
Did not. So he's from Carcedonia and well connected to the Blood Crown. He's asleep, so Kieran wakes him up and they go back and forth. The Lord's like, I'm not going to give you information. And Kieran like, yeah, you are. And Cass like, yeah, you are. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. Until they eventually break his shoulder. Because he wouldn't apologize to Kieran for calling him a filthy dog.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
So rude.
They continue to break bones, as Cass asks where Prince Malik is kept, and Hale kept saying like, "There's no prince. We're not keeping any prince." And Cass kind of goes a little bit off the deep end, and Kieran is like, "Are you level?" And then they
you
move
need a
to
moment.
Talk. Yeah. Do you need to talk about the maiden? And then, I was in this moment. I'm like, I almost feel sorry for Lord Hale, but then I remembered the babies and the children, and I'm like,
right,
nope, not anymore.
Right.
Have at her, Cass and Kieran. Have at her.
I found it interesting because, like, we have never seen this side of Casteel and Kieran where they're like torturing people to get answers.
Yes.
And like, again, like I get it. And what they're doing is like terrible to babies and everybody. But it's like we hear Cass say to Poppy, like, I've done terrible things. Like, I'm this monster, blah, blah, blah. And it's like we're kind of getting a part of that story here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting to see it on page because it's very unlike the Cass and Kieran that we know.
Right.
I also thought this ascended, like, if you were in that position and you are trying to, like, save yourself, he was being so ominous with his answers. He's like, there is no prince being kept. Like, that was what you wouldn't say, hey, like, the Blood Crown is letting him live safely and it was his choice. Like, he was like, why be so ominous with your answers? If you're going to give them and you wanting to like save your ass, it just seems like he's talking like cryptic code the way he was answering
I
there.
wonder if it all leads back to like Isbeth had some kind of hold on them. Like
right,
the
because
whole
it seems
Millie
weird,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like stupidly, perhaps, I'm like, oh, he probably doesn't know about Malik because they're hiding him from this lord.
I mean, that's
like
also
he's
very
well
possible.
connected to the Blood Crown, but that doesn't mean he knows.
But everything he was saying was the truth, though. But he was saying it in such a like ominous way. I think there was something else he said too. Beyond there was no prince being kept, there was something else, and I can't remember what he had said. I thought maybe I'm wrong on that though. And it was like another thing that was a truth, but like
I feel like there was a second thing too.
I'm like, why say it like that? Because it makes it sound like you're lying when it's not a lie, but it wouldn't make for good stories.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, where is he? Where is he? And where is he being held? Nowhere. Like, so it's answers, non-answers that are answers.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and I think Casteel thinks like eventually, like, hey, technically it was lying, like was telling the truth. Oops.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
So they move to talk about the maiden then, and Cass asks the importance of her, and Hale says that she is the bringer of a new era, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, oh, so like she was already spreading the Harbinger shit. And then this is when Hale says he remembers when Cass asked and begged for death. And we find out that Hale recognizes Cass from the capital when he was captured. And I'm like,
mad,
pissed.
right? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
literally
Anger.
about fuck him. Like,
Yep.
You're like, can I come break an arm in there? Like,
literally,
Like, oh my
literally.
Hold it back, Cass, I'm coming.
I'm
Yeah.
on my way to defend you.
yeah.
And then I go into chapters end. So I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Nope.
So the chapter ends with Hale talking about what Cass went through in the capital, which we touched on in the last episode. I wasn't going to go into details here. And then someone kills Hale as his words stop. Kieran checks in with Cass, asking if he's okay, and Cass doesn't answer, but he thinks that he isn't and that he never will be.
Oh,
I think it's hinted that Kieran kills him, but
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, because it seems like Cass is kind of like out of his mind for a
Yeah.
minute. Like
Yeah,
he's,
it kind of
he's like
gone to
zoned,
the trance.
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Oh, my heart.
I hated
Yeah.
that chapter.
Same
Yeah.
days.
Okay, so we move to chapter 26, aka present 4. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a long one. I have 6 notes. So
I
it was
have
not a long
2.
chapter. But the present ones have been up to this point, but this one was not.
Yeah.
So our chapter opens. Cass is lying beside Poppy in bed and talking to her about Lord de Vries and how he was shocked that he blocked out who he was and had not recognized him, because Cass thinks to himself, like, I made a mental note. I had a kill list. Every single person that was involved in my suffering was going to die. And he's like, I literally didn't recognize him. And so
Yeah.
it's like, this is his first realization that like he did block stuff out in that time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know why, but for some reason I must have blocked him out. So Cass says that he had been right all along when he had called Poppy chosen, and that him and Kieran just hadn't been aware of it then. And he says that de Vries was also right when he had said like that there was no prince held captive, which we have touched on. So that was the second thing there, Amanda, that Poppy was the chosen. Okay, so Cass admits that he can understand that Malik's chains were invisible and that they have a name, aka Millicent. And he says that he would have also served a monster if it had meant keeping Poppy safe. So like he's like he can kind of start to see where Malik was coming from this entire time, but he does add like he doesn't know if even given this understanding, he still doesn't know if he would ever be able to actually forgive Malik, just because of like his actions resulted in Poppy being hurt. So
Yeah.
but I thought this was a very good like, okay,
Growth moment for
he's starting to like process and like, okay, if I was in his shoes. So I think this is major for the relationship, and I'm hoping that
totally
I'm
agree.
really hoping we're gonna see like a Cass bonding with his brother again. Like,
yes,
it may not be the same, and I don't think
Right.
it's right to expect it to be the exact same, but something between them.
and especially if Millie ends up like a friend too, and it's like the sister's a friend and
Yes.
the brother, like
Because
we
they
want
kind of
this.
have similar stories. It just played out differently. But like the fact that they're
Right.
heart mated to somebody that is
Yes.
under the control of the queen, that has been like it's very like they have a lot of reasons that they could understand each other.
Yes,
And they've done a lot of
absolutely.
terrible things because of those reasons. Again, that you think they'd both be able to understand.
Yeah. And I think they're going to get there. I really do.
I hope so.
I hope so.
So Cass mentions that he knows Poppy would want him to forgive his brother, and he admits that he wants to, but that it will need time. So like, I think this is really good. Really
Yep.
good step.
Agreed.
So Cass mentioned that he had watched Malik die in the Bone Temple, and I put question mark, did I miss this?
I was like,
what do you
he
mean
saw
Malik was
his
one of the
brother
ones that
die?
died?
Was he one of the ones she resurrected? Because
That's
I think
what I was
everyone
no,
died.
No
Not
memory. of
Everyone
that.
died, and then everyone got brought back.
No, I thought
didn't-
like the select few, like Delano, the ones that she witnessed died.
Yeah.
I thought died. I didn't think everybody, like Cass died too. Like everyone died.
Because like Cass says like, oh, I
Yeah.
already had to
I
watch
watched my brother
Malik die. Yes. And I'm like, wait, what?
Me too. I was like, I have no memory of that.
So
Same.
in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, everyone died at the temple, and then everyone came back to life. Now that you guys are talking, I'm like, oh wait, that didn't happen. I made
Yeah,
that
there was
up.
like 3
I
I
mean, read
there was
that
at
and we're like,
least
oh, this
3
must have
people
happened.
that like were mentioned on page, I
Yes.
thought, but clearly we missed one? Question mark? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It
almost
seems to be
thought
dropped as
that-
if we knew this.
Yeah, same. I re-listened to that part like 3 times and was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad it wasn't
Now I'm
just me.
confused.
I'm gonna have to go
So-
back now and just search like Malik
I was literally about to do that.
There was even ones that came back and like kind of thanked her afterwards. Not thanked her, but like
showed gratitude.
Yes, and like he wasn't a part of that. I guess he ran away with Millie, but still,
but still,
I don't know. It was like, did Millie die and get resurrected? Like I don't know. Strange.
I know. Let me look into this. Okay, so I found it, and we knew. So this is the quote. Every bone in my body shook as I hit the floor. Bright lights flashed. Ache in my back spread into my shoulders, and all the while, those lights kept flashing, allowing me glimpses of the chaos around me. Reaver was down, shimmery lights sparkling from him as he attempted to shake off the Dacus, whatever it was. Malik lay with one arm. Dakai. Yes, there we go. Malik lay with one arm over Millicent as if he sought to shield her with his last breath.
I did not catch that.
Not a single inch of their bodies wasn't scorched or torn up. No more Draken flew, and Kieran, he yelled my name too as the lights flashed.
Damn.
So like Millie was dead too. Because they said their bodies were all burnt to a crisp or something. Not
a single inch of their bodies wasn't scorched or torn up. Yeah.
Damn.
And that's when the consort or whoever is like, it wasn't supposed to be this way. And she brings them all back to life.
She Uno flipped it and reverses it.
Flying down, flip it and reverse it.
Is it worth it? Let me work here. So funny. I can't believe that went like over my head.
Yeah.
All these
totally missed that.
People dying. And I'm like, what? He witnessed his brother die?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Fine.
So yeah, I think Kristen was right. Everybody died except like the trio. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess because they were protected by the joining.
Mm-hmm.
They had.
Yep.
Interesting. Which I still have so many questions about. Like, if they chopped their head off, would they just live because Poppy's alive?
They can't get over the possible decapitation.
I'm like, please tell me what happens here.
And it's like, I need a science experiment.
Well, doesn't like Callum still live if his head's decapitated? Doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's like that Reaver thing.
He's a red though. Like,
but like, it still happens for him. So if it happens for Callum, however it happens for Callum, it can happen for them.
I just got a crazy idea. Is it possible that Callum or Millie are like somehow joined to a primal, and that is exactly what will happen? Like that's why they smell differently, but they come back to life. Like
could that have been how Millie actually didn't die and what they had to do?
Because she was joined to someone or something, some primal, or I don't know.
Because we don't understand yet how Millie didn't die, right? Because but they said something like it was someone's blood, but that doesn't make sense because that's how you get ascended, and it wasn't enough to save her. So what could they have possibly have done so that she didn't die?
I wonder if she's like joined. We better find these answers out. I'm telling you, in the next book, we need it.
Okay, I have one note. So if you want, do you want me to just go to my note and then you do chapter's end? Because I have one more thing before chapter's end.
Yeah.
It's just like a random thing.
Yes. Sorry, my brain was processing in real time there.
That's okay. I just want to bring this up because we talked about it earlier and I had a note here. So I had a note in this chapter because we came to present day here. And it's just funny that we were talking earlier that like how much time has passed. And my first like note for this whole chapter was, I wish we knew how much time had passed since Poppy went into stasis. Like has it been a day? Has it been 3 hours? Has it been 4 days? Like we have no idea how long she's been in stasis, and it's driving me nuts.
This timeline is killing you guys.
Yes.
I wondered at some point the same because we'll probably get into it, but like Cas, I'll get into it when we get into it because I know I made a note.
Yeah, okay. All right. So our chapter ends with Cas pushing the thoughts of Malik away and thinking about the first time that Poppy had spoke to him. He says his smile quickly fades when he remembers what came like with it, like meaning the Duke and her nightmares. So
I forgot. Like I'm like, when did she talk to him first? Like I could not remember.
Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
Situation. So chapter 27, The Maiden Speaks. So this chapter starts with them, I don't know, Cas and Tawny and Poppy.
Whoever them is.
Yeah, like them. They're waiting in the hallway inside the kitchens for Tawny, and Cas starts drumming up conversation with Poppy, or attempting to, because he's trying to get her. He's like trying to see, like, will she speak to me, or is she going to be stubborn and just blatantly ignore me in front of my face? And he's like, did you sleep well? And she nods. He mentions to himself here how that she hasn't spoken around him yet, either to him or even around him. Like, she like ignores people around her if Cas is near. So I thought it was funny. It also seemed really random to me. So Tawny comes out of the kitchen and she's like, I've got sandwiches. They're your favorite. It's cucumber. And I was just like, what a random favorite sandwich to have. It's like cucumber sandwich. I just thought it was funny.
Salmon cucumber. Yes.
That's right. And
my dad has cucumber sandwiches, though. Like, just cucumber.
I think Poppy's was just cucumber. And I think Tawny's was the salmon cucumber.
Is salmon.
Sorry,
I think,
yes.
Right. Or something. And I never heard of that before.
Salmon cucumber.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah. No.
My dad
like
has
salmon
just
and I like
cucumber sandwiches, though.
Like bread cucumber. Like
Yes.
anything butter or like.
I don't know.
Mayonnaise.
My mom makes it. But like cucumber sandwiches, he likes them.
Interesting.
Well, you know what it makes me think of? And it was probably at your house, Kristen, when I was a kid. But like, I remember you'd have like the little baby bite-sized sandwiches and it would just be like a cucumber on like little circles of bread. So that's probably where
I don't remember this, but it's very possible. It is very possible.
And my brother always makes cucumber sandwiches with 2 crackers and a cucumber.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I was like, that is such a, for it to be your favorite.
Yeah.
I was just like, that is
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
But cucumbers are freaking delicious, so
They really are.
can't be that shocked. So this is where Lauren and Tafina come in, and they sit near Poppy and they start gossiping and whatnot in front of her. And it's interesting because Cas starts thinking to himself, like, I should escort her away, but like, fuck the rules. I'm going to just like follow Poppy's lead here. Cas notices Poppy's demeanor changing when they show up, and she was like more comfortable in the way she was holding herself, and then she suddenly became like rigid, started to like hide parts of her body. She like covered her hands and her feet. And then Lauren, because Cas is near, clumsily drops a bag of crystals. And I put, this is all coming back to me now. She's doing this on purpose. So yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, all my jewels. And like starts picking them
clumsy.
up. Yes. And then Casteel, like, let me help you. And he helps her pick them up. And she's like, you're so kind. And like, he hands them back to her. And then, I think this is between the two of them. I get mixed up. It was Tafina or Lauren, but then the other one, I think, fakes that they're dizzy and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so dizzy. And like, woe is me, And Cas is like, good gods. Like, and then someone's like, oh, it's so hot in here. And in his head, he's like, not really. And anyways, they go on and on about trying to like swoon over Cas and have him come and like take care of them. And then the ladies start to gossip about him as he's right there. But I guess because of his hearing, he can hear them and maybe normal people wouldn't. But they talk about how he's been a frequent patron to one of those dens. And Tawny whispers, they're talking about the red pearl. And then they talk about how, like, I wonder what he does there. Is he just playing cards or is he doing other things? They then bring up Miss Willa Collins and wonder and speculate if he is in her diary or not. And they say that Willa only puts skilled people in her diary and insinuates that Hawk could probably be there considering the rumors that they've heard. And Hawk is like, oh my God. And he's like looking at the maiden and like trying to like gauge her reaction, but he can't obviously.
I'm sorry, Cas, you have problems with being objectified.
Right? Yeah. Huh. Better not, because you are the king of that.
Are you more than a piece of meat?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. How does that feel? So then there's talks about the right and saying that there's rumors that who is in town. And they're like, well, they cancel the right. And then they're like, no, they will not cancel the right. And then one of the girls says it's not an if, it's a when Prince Casteel will like show up or come around. And I didn't remember getting the prince's name. Like, I don't remember. I feel like when Casteel said his name, I was like, oh, that's his name. I don't remember it being like said before that point. Obviously it was, but I was like shocked to hear them say Prince Casteel. So anyways, Casteel was shocked that she used his name and didn't refer to him as the Dark One. And then they spoke about how they overheard Britta saying that Casteel was close by, which is weird. And I thought, could Britta this whole time be a seer or something? Because I was thinking maybe Britta is a seer and that is potentially also working with Willa Collins. And that maybe that's how Britta's cloak got in the possession of Poppy. Like, I know Poppy like stole it or what have you.
But maybe she allowed it to be stolen or orchestrated.
You know what exactly. And maybe they did what they needed to do to make sure that Poppy took the cloak, and then Willa saw the cloak, knew, oh, that's Poppy because this is a part of our seer plan. We knew that she needed to like get there. Also, she says Britta knows everything and always has like the right information. She knows things like how Prince Casteel was spotted in Three Rivers, and then Casteel said and that he started a fire there, and Casteel's like, I did do that. And yes, and then Tawny says, like, how could anybody claim like what you're saying? Nobody has even lived long enough to know what he looks like. And someone was like, I thought he was bald with like pointy ears. That's what like I've heard. And Casteel's like, oh, I'm offended that they think I look like that. And but then it says Britta claims that everyone that has seen him has said he is handsome. And then I put 100% Britta has got to be a seer. She can't just know all of this information from other people. And then Britta says that someone told him his good looks and charm and physical abilities were how he got in with the Duchess at the other like castles that they were at. And it Casteel again says like all of that was true minus like the physical part.
How did I miss all of this? What the hell?
So it's like Britta said this and then Casteel's like, yep, that happened. Yeah. Britta said this. Yeah. Like, how does this person that lives in Solis know all of these things that are happening around
just a
here?
Servant. Like,
and she's the only one that happens to have all this information.
I mean, like, it's a thing where like they're always like, the servants know everything because everyone talks in front of them. Like, it's kind of like a thing. Like, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was hilarious that, like, Britta's like, oh, this the dark one, this the dark one. And then she sleeps with him. Like, but
that actually is kind of funny that she did sleep with him.
Because, like, Willa Collins says, like, well, like, I just sensed you guys needed each other. Like, we don't get a hint of a bigger plan at that point from Willa herself.
Yeah.
Like,
it just
but
seems
like you're right, like it's just
she
very
has the cloak. Like, I don't know.
What happens with Britta? Is she still alive that we know?
Think she's still alive that we know?
I don't know.
Interesting. I wonder if she'll come back up.
Like, I'm kind of just spitballing off you. Like, I don't think she's a seer personally, but like, what if she's like an Atlantean or something? Like,
well, I was just thinking to myself, would he have sensed that she's Atlantean? Like, can you smell a mortal versus an Atlantean? Like, if he was like in a room with her,
I think he said
like,
the only reason
know?
he confirmed Poppy was when he drank from her, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
So no, you don't just inherently know.
Blood.
Yeah.
Interesting. So anyways, yeah, I was like, there's something more to this Britta lady in the way that she just freaking knows everything. And then was it me that thought she was a seer? Yes. Okay. I'm like, maybe Poppy mentioned it or Tawny said it. I'm like, am I getting that from someone else? No, that was okay. So anyways, yes, I thought that of her.
Interesting.
So Lauren is like, oh my gosh, what if he could be here right now? And that's how he gained access to you. Like, and it's like, little do we know that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Casteel's like, haha, she's on.
I wonder what would happen.
Yes. I also thought, like, do you think that them saying that purposefully kind of in front of Casteel, maybe they actually suspected that he was the Dark One, and that's why they said it there to like gauge the reaction, and he just had no reaction? Because that's what I would do if I was like oh, maybe he's trying to get close to, yeah.
I'm gonna be rude here, and I just assumed they're written to me as kind of dumb, and I don't think they're smart enough to do that.
To like put two and two. Yeah, you're probably right, because that's the
just
first time I read
them.
That's
I don't think they're bright enough for that.
A little airy.
Yeah, that's fair. They're like, oh, my crystals. Oops. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Let me just bend over and pick those up.
Oh, you're gonna do it for me? Thanks. So the maiden shocked everybody and spoke up because I don't remember who, if it was Lauren or Tafina, was basically like, I kind of hope he comes and starts a rebellion. Like, oh my gosh. And Poppy was like, you're happy that people could like be killed. Like, you understand what a rebellion means, and that these innocent people are going to die because these dissenters are going to come in, and like, just for your own entertainment, like, you're getting bored around here and that's what you want to see happen. So
I was very much like, go off.
right?
Like, I forgot she stood up.
Me too. I was like, oh yeah.
Go off.
There's our little rebellion queen.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly. So Cas was assuming that Poppy's upset was due to Rylan and how he was killed by the dissenters, and the fact that these ladies in wait were like, oh, I hope there's a rebellion. Like, it was hitting closer to home because she just had someone close to her killed because of that exact reason. And it was kind of making him grow more fond of Poppy unwillingly. So Tawny is now speaking to Poppy under her breath, thinking that he can't hear them. And she says, like, what are you going to do now? He heard you talk. And Casteel is like, again, like, oh my gosh, I love this girl. And I love how much Cas loves Tawny.
Me too.
I feel like it adds more to the fact, like, we've talked about this, but like future, the present time, even when Tawny first came back, it kind of, I think, helped that dynamic of like trust, because I felt like we didn't know where he really stood with Tawny, but knowing that he was privy to all of the conversations that they had, like, helps him realize the relationship that they had before and why it was so important for Poppy to.
I'm really excited to be in his head when she's being taken away and she's like begging Cas, like, can we please take Tawny? And he's like, no, like, she'll be a liability. I want to know what, like,
same.
Like, is he like, no,
I don't
because
want
if
to
she comes,
kill
I'll have to kill her?
Yes,
like, I'm
probably.
very excited for that.
I agree.
Moment.
So, Tawny and Poppy are talking, and a guard enters, and Cas gets up and goes over. Go ahead if you have something prior.
I think this is where she's whispering. Have you gotten there yet?
Oh, sorry. I kind of just
I'm right
over.
before that.
Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
because this is maybe me reading too much into it, but like, Cas is saying, like, again, he felt this stare, this odd prickle at his neck, and like, as crazy it sounded, like he doesn't see the veil, like he sees her face, and I was like, is this like subtle clues for the bond that he doesn't even pick up on? Like, he doesn't see the veil, he just sees her.
Sees her as who she is through whatever.
Like, he's like, he sees her face bare, like her chin, like, well, I mean, he could see the chin with the veil, but like, just the way he says he sees her face, like, I was wondering if this is like the heart bond coming through.
The soul seeing the soul.
Yes. I made a note later. I wasn't catching on to that here, but later on it mentions the prickling on the neck again, and I was like, oh, is this her emotions thing? But I think we kind of talked about it before and was she wasn't reading him at that moment though, right? So like, maybe it is something more like that. The heart bond.
Yeah, because like the warning bells in his head, even when she's going to the Duke too.
Yep. So a guard enters, and Cas gets up and goes over, and he learns that the Duke is summoning Poppy. And I'm already thinking to myself in this moment, like, with his super good hearing, like, if he's waiting outside the door, does he actually know more that goes on? Later we learn that they have very thick walls. So Cas goes back over to Tawny and Poppy and says Poppy questioningly, because Tawny used that nickname, and Tawny says, yes, that's her nickname. Only her close friends and her brother call her that. And Cas is like, Poppy, I like that. So Tawny was basically like, why are you talking to us? Like, you shouldn't like be over here. You just like supposed to like stand and watch us from afar. And she's like, is there a threat of more crystals falling? Like, why are you over here? And again, it's just like, I love you, Tawny.
I love her.
And Cas says, the Duke has summoned Poppy. Casteel is now analyzing their reactions to the Duke summoning and notices that everything is feeling wrong. Their smiles are fading. Poppy quickly replaces her smile back, but with more of a thin, forced line. Tawny's fake smiling ominously and says, I will wait for you in your chambers. Casteel says, like, are you all right? As they walk towards the Duke's chambers, and was like, your maid, had a whatever reaction. And Poppy's like, Tawny is not a maid. And Casteel is like, I've learned how to make you speak. I just need to, like, talk ill about the people you care about, or, whatever.
I kind of made a note here, too. Like, do we think this is why he's always teasing her? Like, because that's how he finally got her to, like, speak to him? Not just, like, in front of him?
Yeah.
That's how I took this. Was like,
because they always banter back and forth, right? So I'm like, is this, like, the origin story of that?
Yeah. Like, he's like, this is the only way she'll speak to me if I, like... He basically, I think, is like, yes, she's got a bit of an attitude in a good way. Like, she's got a sharp tongue, and, like, you ain't gonna sass her without getting sassed back. So he's like, perfect. This is us now.
Papoy.
So Cass said he wanted to scream in triumph as he finally got her to speak. And I was just really enjoying their banter back and forth when she finally started to talk again, and we have that relationship that we love so much. As Poppy walks up to the door where the guards are, Cass says Penelope, and she looks at him, and morning bells are going off again in Cass's ears, and he says, I will wait for you here. And he makes a point, so she goes in. She looks at him first and is like, he feels that she looks at him in a way that's like, help me kind of thing. But like, she just turns and goes into the room. He makes a point to say that he can't hear anything in the rooms, and that the parts of the walls in the castle here are thicker, probably intentionally, in my opinion, due to what the Duke does in there. Because I wonder, the Ascended must have good hearing too, like the Atlanteans,
they
maybe,
must.
right? So they're trying to like protect from any of that. So then Casteel's like, because he's trying to talk to these guards, and he's like, is this a frequent thing that happens? Like, how long are they usually in there? And one of the guards gives him like a little bit of information, but not much. And the other one just ignores him. And he says, like, I could just compulse them to tell me. But he says that some mortals are resistant to compulsion and remember everything that they were compulsed to do.
Which, did we know that?
I don't think so.
I don't think we knew that.
Because we were always like, why doesn't he just compulse people more often? And he says mortals. So is that a mortal thing only? Or to anyone he uses compulsion to? Because he said some mortals are resistant to compulsion, which I thought was an interesting thing if it's mortals that have that potential resistance. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we knew that.
Yeah, that seems very newsworthy to me.
Immortal, though, aren't they? They're not, like, they
but
die
the guards
eventually.
are mortal. The guards are
Yeah, but, like, the guards are, like, human mortal, not vamp. Like, he could even be referring to Ascended in there, too, because I think it even says they're not immortal. They just live really long times.
Ever referred to Ascended as mortal before? Like, anytime they say mortal, I just assume, or maybe that was my assumption that I assume human, but I thought it was interesting.
No, it is interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think we knew that was.
I didn't realize anyone could withstand his compulsion.
Yes.
No, same.
So,
I also wondered here, just before you go, sorry.
Yep.
Because the guards are like very, maybe, depends. I wonder, like, how, I think they know. They must have an inkling. And I'm like,
I feel like
are they just like, okay, or like, I wondered if the Duke had something over them, like, you better do this, or we're gonna, like,
right,
I don't know, kill someone for you.
Because, like, why say nothing? Like, it almost seemed like odd, right?
And, like, if they were supportive of their Duke, they could have been like, oh yeah, like, it happens, like, but they kind of like, depends, not common, like, very short answers.
Short, and like, I don't want to keep talking to you, like,
I don't know, it's pinging my radar.
Yeah, it was odd, for sure. So after about 10 minutes of standing there, another door opens, and he says, I forget the name, but I think it must be Victor's last name. It was like Wardwell or something.
Yeah, Wardwell.
And I'm like, who the heck is this? And then I'm like, okay, I think this is Victor by like the conversation that's happening, but totally forgot what his last name was. He asks him how long he's been there, and Cass says about 10 minutes, and then Victor lies and says, that because Cas is like, what are they doing? And Victor lies on Poppy's behalf and says he probably just wants to talk to her about her upcoming ascension. And like, I'll take over your shift now. And Casteel's like, but mine's not done for a few hours. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm taking over.
I'm pulling rank, bitch.
Literally. And I'm not telling you why. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I jump into chapter's end now, if anybody's got anything else.
Nope.
Okay. So chapter ends with Victor relieving Cas early of his duties. Cas tries to fight it, and Victor's basically like, I'm here now. You can either leave or you can take it up with the Duke. And Cas is like, well, she looked at me as if, and he doesn't finish a sentence. And Victor's like, what? And Cas doesn't tell him, but he basically said as if she needed me and was like looking for somebody to help. His alarm bells go off again and he doesn't feel right leaving her there, and he can tell something's wrong, but he does resist the urge to compel Victor because he thinks that he would definitely be one that would remember the compulsions if he tried, and he turns away and leaves Victor there.
I was sad. I'm like, I
Me
forgot
too.
about this.
Samesies.
All right. Next, chapter 28, or A Twisted Irony of Sorts. So the chapter starts with Cas thinking about Poppy and what might have happened between her and the Duke, noting that Victor has changed the schedule and he's guarding her at night, which has irritated him. He mentions he hasn't seen Poppy since she was in the Duke's office, and Tawny says she's been feeling under the weather. So he kind of continues to inner monologue about how he's irritated, saying like Malik doesn't have the time, like, you know, I need to go free him, and he needs to get Poppy's trust without, he needs to get her trust, oh my gosh, words are hard, so they can leave without her questioning him. But then he brings up the fact that there's been fires in the city, one in Radiant Row, which had burned down to the foundation thanks to the Descenders, geez Louise. The fire even took out a few Ascended. I'm just getting my words mixed up here. Not that anyone would know that, though, because the Tiermans wouldn't say that. And he notes that
Which I thought was interesting.
Me too.
Because,
Yeah.
like, they're so quick to be like, look at how terrible the Dissenters are. And they just hide the fact that a whole house burned down because of
They
them.
don't want them to know that they can die, though, right? Like,
It was like they were like so worried about their pride and them being godlike that they're like, we would rather literally not tell you because we're that friggin' egotistical.
but also how...
So weird.
Just think about this now, though. Like, they died assumably in their house. So you're just going to be like, oh yeah, their house burned down and now they're just moving away the same day.
And they're just gone
what
forever.
What a coincidence.
You just never
Dang,
see
insurance
them.
didn't pull through.
Yeah. That's just, like, it would...
Like, no
I feel like it would come out. Yeah.
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 This does not seem like a carefully worded plan.
Yes. Cas notes that the dissenters acted on their own, upset about what happened at the city council. And then he brings up that he wants the people of Solis to fight back, and he wants to know and how they need to know that the Ascended aren't what they claim, and their kingdom was built on a foundation of lies.
I thought that was really cool because this is the first time, again, this growth that we're seeing in Cas at this moment. He only cared about his brother. He didn't really care about the people here. He didn't care about people fighting back against the Ascended. He was just like, get my brother out, the end. And now he's having these thoughts like, I really hope after I get my brother that they can fight back and that we can see the blood crown be diminished. And I don't think that those were thoughts he was having prior to any of this.
No.
It was just blood crown dead, brother saved. Like, that was it.
Yeah, because even like the next thing he kind of talks about is he believes that freeing Malik will be like the first crack in the foundation or in the first crack to their downfall. So like, again, like you said previously, it was like,
that was like only mission was that.
Brother free. But he mentions that not his father or Alistair would see it that way. He then speaks about Atlantia and how it's on the brink of being overfarmed and overpopulated, when all of a sudden there's a scream that has him looking at Poppy's door. He takes his dagger from his hip and he enters Poppy's chambers. She's in bed and he notes that her cheeks are wet, like she's shed actual tears. And then she gasps. I know. She gasps, which is his warning, so he moves to the shadow and watches her. So Poppy raises up on an elbow and looks in Cass's direction, and he's like, not that she can see me because I'm in the shadows. And I'm like, but she sensed you.
Yeah.
I feel emotions coming off of something for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, weird.
No, thank you, ghosts.
She whispers it was just a dream, and she rocks herself. This had me crying a little bit.
Oh, me too.
She lays back down and like rocks herself, like before she finally falls asleep again.
And she was
because it
fighting
brings
sleep,
back
like.
Do you remember when like Cass tells her like, you know, like you don't have to hide yourself with me, like you don't have to be strong all the time, like you can break down. And she specifically says like, this is the first time probably since my mom held me that I had someone to like cry onto their shoulder for.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is literally her just like suffering alone. And like,
Yes.
it just hits differently knowing
So sad.
it does. Yeah.
Ugh. So
Just wanna
Cass,
hug her.
I know, same. Cass continues to watch her for a time. He even notes, he's like, I had no good reason to watch her, but I, continue to watch her to make sure she's fine.
Edward Cullen, anyone?
Yeah. He calls her the maiden, but there's a voice in the back of his head saying, she has a name. Wonder what voice that is. He looks around the room, then noting the lack of possessions, which he says, like, I've never seen anyone, even the poorest of poor, have something in their room, which, again,
Like
is
something
just
personable.
Jeez, like,
I know.
she really had nothing.
And she spends
like,
all
it's
her
so-
time there and like nothing
Mhm.
to do.
Like,
You can't have familiarity with anything. That's not pure and what the gods want. Like,
Yeah.
Jeez.
So then he moves towards her, and he bends down, catching the scent of pine and sage, reminding him of arnica? I don't know.
Sure. Sounds
A
right.
plant that is used to treat all sorts of things, like all manner of things. And I won't lie, the first time I read that, I'm like, oh, isn't that like Kieran scent? Like, isn't he like
Oh.
pine and sagey? And then I'm like,
that's
oh
so
no.
funny, but
It's
yes.
literally just hinting that
The
she has something
ointment.
on her. Yeah.
Yes. To like
Well,
help
I was
heal
like,
the
I thought
wounds.
she was honeydew. Why is her scent changing? And I'm
I
like,
know.
oh, it's cream.
So he pulls the blanket up. And then I go into chapter 10.
So I have
Wilson?
one, like, it was a theory that I had again that maybe will happen later. But you know how Cass, like, knows that Poppy snuck out and was like on the outside the Duke's like window in the future?
On the ledge.
I
Yeah.
thought this is the moment he's going to like search in her room and find her hidden escape thing. I was like, oh, this is how he finds out, like, how she gets out. Perfect time. And then that didn't happen. I was like so sure that, because we've always been like, how did he know? Like,
Yes.
and I was like, this is how he learned, because he was in her room and then probably saw it. And then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Womp, 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 womp.
Womp, womp.
Womp, womp.
So the chapter ends with Cass bending over Poppy, getting the scent, and he pulls the blanket up over her, leaving the bedchamber, noting the irony that the people responsible for what found them both in the darkest of hours of night were the same.
Mm-hmm.
My heart.
They heal together, though. It's fine.
They
They
do.
do. They heal each other.
trauma
Okay,
bond.
so chapter 2, yeah, literally though, trauma bond.
Yeah.
Chapter 29, the present 5. I was getting all the presents. It's like Christmas over here.
Oh my God. I love pun jokes.
So our chapter opens with Cass telling Poppy he wasn't trying to hide the fact that he had been in her chamber while she slept, because he mentions that he was there the night before. And then he also says like multiple times. So like clearly it happened more than that.
Yeah.
And he didn't want her to feel embarrassed. Like that's why he didn't tell her. He's like, I just knew if she knew I saw her in this moment of weakness, like she would be embarrassed, and he didn't want that. So he admits that he didn't know what the Duke had done in the lessons just yet. And that Victor was trying his best to protect Poppy by not letting anyone see her in that state. But he does think to himself, like, Victor's best was not good enough. Like, he should have done something.
Yeah.
And then Cass thinks to himself that he should try to get some sleep before dawn arrives, because it's like just about daybreak. And he says, especially because Delano is in wolven form at the foot of his bed. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I'm kind of glad it's not Kieran for once. I'm kind of glad.
So funny.
And then I go into chapter 10. Do you guys have anything?
So I just have one note here. Cass says, like, maybe I could find her in my dreams if I did go to sleep.
Oh,
but
yes.
Then he was like, but maybe he's like, but he felt that he was actually maybe more worried that if he fell asleep, he wouldn't find her. So like maybe he's kind of subconsciously avoiding sleep. But I thought to myself, like maybe that would be a big reason for her not to lose her memories if they found each other in her sleep, because that's her sleep conscious.
Yes.
I'm almost like, Cass, freaking sleep and dream walk with her, whatever the hell it's called, because that might be the key while she's in stasis seeing you. But now I'm like, oh, he didn't. So I hope that they will, and that will like be something
interesting.
Smart.
Oh, I hope that's a thing.
Same.
Yeah, but didn't happen. So here's all my didn't happen theories.
So our chapter ends with Cass thinking about the night that Poppy was attacking the craven on the rise, and he realized that he really truly had underestimated her. And he says that when he saw her in that moment, he finally started seeing her differently, and that she had stopped being the maiden to him and started becoming Poppy, which I thought was so cute.
Yeah.
This is also, I mentioned it earlier. So he mentions that, he's playing with the thin shoulder of the gown that Vanetta got her. And last episode, it was Hisa that got the gown because she's like, oh, that's weird. So this is where I'm like, did a few days pass?
Yes,
Oh.
Did they change her? Like, what? Or did, Jennifer forget? Like, I'm very confused.
Yeah, like, did you forget? What?
Interesting.
There's so many,
what's happening?
You're
here?
right. It was
Yeah.
Hisa the first time.
Because you remember, I remember
Isa?
saying her name, and we were like,
So-
and she was confused that she didn't want it to be white, but Vanetta wouldn't have been confused.
Yes, you're
Yes.
right. I completely forgot about that. You're right.
This is where I got. I'm like, I need my timeline.
You're like, timeline.
Jennifer.
Somebody help us.
I need a chart.
Help me!
That's funny. Chapter 30, The Monster in Me, starts with Cass mentioning that the atmosphere has shifted and that it was now the second day after the maiden was with the Duke and he had still not seen her outside of being in her room when she was sleeping. And that that wasn't what was causing his unease, though, with the changing atmosphere. He is saying that the hair is standing up on his arms and there was a silence up on the rise that was unsettling.
Immediately, I was like, oh, is this the Craven attack? Like, I'm so excited to see Cass's POV. And I was like,
I
yeah.
have
You're like, "Dan
questions
called it." Yes.
because we know now that this mist is a primal mist, and okay, so Poppy can summon this primal mist, right? Which we found out she accidentally summoned Craven in the
Yeah.
last book. So, is someone summoning this mist right now, or does it just happen to appear on its own? Like, if it's a primal mist, would a primal god not have to bring it?
It's
how
so
does it-
interesting because, okay, if we're going to say that, yes, let's say that's the case, then when the Craven came and attacked Poppy when she was younger, what primal summoned it then?
That's what I mean.
I think that the mist exists with the Craven and they just are where the Craven is, but a primal can also just create the mist.
Okay.
Because
yes.
it explains here a little bit that Cass is like, it's interesting that this mist, which was actually the primal magic in the Skotos Mountains to protect
Yes.
Elysium and the gods, that it's interesting that it has now also turned into something that
So
protects
bad
these
here.
monsters, which is a Craven. So it must just be that
Because
somehow...
my second thought is so the mist that protects the mountains, is that supposed to be like primal of life mist, and then the Craven is like primal of death mist because one protects
Maybe.
and the other attacks?
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory on that.
I don't know. I was very hung up on this, knowing what we know now. I'm like,
Especially when Nyktos, or the consort, the primal of life, which is the
Yeah.
mist surrounding Elysium, and that
Yeah.
Colas, the primal of death, is literally in Solis.
is in Solis. Yeah.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily being summoned at this point, but I just think that it exists with the craven.
Yeah.
Because of their areas that they govern?
I don't know.
Because it mentions, like...
It's really unique.
Victor mentioned something with the craven and how they breathe and the mist. I remember that. I think it's
the
Victor
mist is
that
like
says...
the breath of their lungs
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
Sounds like primal of death to me.
Right?
So, like, if Solis had some sort of, like, connection to the craven and then that's his primal mist or whatever...
Yeah. Anyway,
it would
just
be
putting that on the
something.
table.
If when Solis, I say when as if it's going to happen, if and when Solis comes to his full power, maybe cravens don't exist because they're a part of like his something.
Essence?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Interesting though. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to take us on a side quest.
No, it's okay. So there's a line of guards staring out beyond the rise at the barren lands, and Cas approaches Pence. He asks Pence what is going on, but then cuts off and looks up on the rise himself and sees the mist coming in. Cas mentions the way that the mist was moving was not typical of the mist, which was a very interesting thing to note. Casteel mentions he's never seen the mist like this here, but it reminds him of the primal magic of the mist near the Skotos Mountains, which is what is protecting Elysium, if I'm not mistaken. But he didn't know that at this point. Because he only knows it because his brother and Kieran used to just travel the Skotos Mountains, would get in the mist, and then just have a weird feeling and leave.
Right.
So interesting that he
Isn't
says
the mountains what they cross over, though, to get into Atlantia? I thought the Skotos Mountains were what?
Oh, is it? I thought these were the ones that go to
Hold
Elysium.
up. I have a map. I have a map.
I was just guessing off my memory here.
Skotos Mountains are between Spez's End and Atlantia.
Okay,
yeah, they
so
had
it's
to
the mist that
travel through
protects-
the mountains.
Yes.
Like the
Okay.
trees of Ios were all through those mountains. And she
Where's
almost falls off the cliff,
Elysium?
remember?
What's it
like,
called?
So like it's like Skotos Mountains and like the
What do they have to go through? Like the caves and stuff. What does it have?
they
a
go
name?
underneath the mountains and through those caves.
So it's
to
still
Atlantia.
Skotos Mountains then?
Yes.
I don't know.
So it's
There's
the same
mountains of
mist?
Nyktos, though. Isn't it in Dalos? Isn't Dalos where
Isn't
Elysium
Delos
is?
the name of the city
Is in Elysium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's mountains. I have the map. I knew it would come in handy. It's Solis, Skotos Mountains, Atlantia, Mountains of Nyktos, Mist of the Primals, and then Elysium.
Okay, so it's a different set of mountains.
So it's a different set of mountains, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is where Cas mentions that it's kind of like fucked up that this magic has turned to protect something like these monsters when it was made to protect like Atlantia and the people of the gods and what have you. So then of course Cas says, well, that's not really important at this moment, and then moves on. And it's like,
Which
obviously
means it is important.
Yes, exactly. So he moved on from that real fast. So the torches start to go out. Yes. As the mist approaches, and one of the guards gives the order to light it up. So they like shoot these like fireball arrow things, I guess, just to like light up ahead of them and potentially catch some craven on fire. I thought it was interesting that when they explained the craven, they said the craven were like dark silvery moonlit shapes. And I was like, I don't like the way that they're saying dark silvery moonlight, because that's always like Poppy and Primal related. So I was like, that's
Primal of
interesting.
Death?
Right?
Anyone? Because Poppy is the primal of death now, right? Like they like
all of the
she will
above,
be-
I think,
yeah.
kind of, right? She's like the ultimate.
Just saying.
Destiny.
Someone then yells, "Sound the alarms!" The horns go
Sound the alarm.
off. The middle gate starts to open so that everybody can go out to fight the craven. Oh, sorry. There's another gate that's closing to keep this castle safe. Like their gates coming down before, and then another gate opens so that they can like go through the rise, I guess. Someone asks Cas, where are you going? I think it's Pence. And he's like, I'm going to go fight. And Pence is like, all surprised. And he's like, you don't have to do that. You're the royal guard of the maiden. Like, you don't have to fight. And he's basically like, I know, but this is what I'm going to do. And basically he's like, don't die. Cas says it's unlike Cas says that unlike the mortals, he doesn't fear craven because their bites have no effect. And yeah, I feel like this is the first time we're hearing that a bite doesn't affect an Atlantean.
Yeah.
So that confirms why Poppy...
Did we know this?
Maybe we did know that. Or maybe that's just our theory. Honestly, they all blend together.
I was like, is this news to us? Because I thought we speculated, like we were always like, why didn't Poppy die? Oh, because she has healing powers. But like, also she was Atlantean or part of Atlantean.
No, I swear Cas says like, I should have known that you were Atlantean the moment I found out you were attacked by a craven because like you didn't die.
That sounds familiar. Yes. That does sound familiar, actually.
You're right.
You're right.
And also, yes, Cas, you should have fucking clued in.
Right? Idiot.
I feel like we should also be like, we should have clued
in. Yeah.
And like, it would make sense if they had an Atlantean captured. They captured them as Atlanteans. Like, why is it crazy to think that the maiden is a captured Atlantean? Like, arguably. Casteel mentions that it's very good that he can fight right now because he can actually let out some pent-up frustration, and that a craven can kill an Atlantean if they got the upper hand, but basically that's not going to happen to Casteel. So I thought it was interesting that he's basically like, here is like another crutch for me right now, and I need to just not feel anything. So this is what I'm going to do.
I'd rather feel pain than nothing at all.
Cas joins the hundreds of guards prepared to fight, and he mentions that he doesn't even look at any of them because he doesn't want to see the faces of people that he knows are not going to make it. Jansen says a really heroic sounding speech to pump everybody up to go fight. And someone yells to open the gates, and they open, and the mist and the rotting bodies of the craven are all that can be seen.
I thought the speech was good from Jansen, but then I was like, poor guards.
But he's
like,
evil.
He's hyping them up and like
to go to their death.
And then Jansen's not good. I'm like, I don't like what he's doing.
He seems so good here. Like he really does. So it's like
what goes wrong?
Alistair, man.
Alistair.
Fucking
Alistair.
Yeah. We get to kill him all over again, right? Oh no, he dies in the second book. Damn it.
So close. What's important here? I have so many notes still. The craven attack commences. The first royal guards, like there's like a line of them, and they pretty much get taken out. Once we get to the second royal guards, that's when Cas decides to let his monster out and starts to rip apart the cravens. During this fight, Cas mentions that he is chopping off limbs, ichor squirting everywhere, but it is silencing his mind. And that is exactly what he wanted to do. And it is working. Casteel then notices that Victor is also in the fight, which I think is also surprising to him because just like Cas didn't have to fight, obviously Victor doesn't have to fight because he's also a royal guard. So I feel like there was probably like a bit of respect there gained, but I don't think it was
but
actually
also who the fuck's watching Poppy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what happened. So yeah, they kind of like lock eyes in a moment and they're like, who the heck is watching Poppy? And do you know what I thought? So Cas considered killing Victor in this moment because he thought
I was surprised by that.
I was too. Because I think it's because we had past Cas and new healing Cas fighting in this moment. And that's what happened. I bet you before I met Poppy, Cas would have made that decision in a heartbeat because he knew that anybody close to her would have to be killed. Yes. And especially somebody like Victor that would literally go on the trip with them, knowing that he would have probably been so suspicious of all of it.
I wonder if it was something bigger than that. Like, because Cas says like he didn't hurt him, like, but he didn't know why. And I'm like, is this maybe like the fates like
intervening,
jumping in? Yeah.
Well, what I thought was interesting with this is that had he gone through with it, the whole course of everything would have changed. Because if you remember, when Poppy is up on that thing, the archery, she spots Victor and she's actually purposely shooting at Craven near Victor to help keep him safe. So she would have witnessed Casteel murder Victor if in that moment he decided to do that, which was kind of interesting that he considered it And we know now that Poppy like spotted Victor out on the battlefield just from reading it. And I was like, holy, that could have went the wrong, like it could have really got fucked up if that happened. So Victor locks eyes with Casteel. They both realize shit, which is like Victor's fault. Like he's the one that was supposed to be guarding. So why would he just leave and be like, oh my God, she's not protected? Like,
but he like took her out on the rise. But yeah, again, like why is he surprised?
Yes.
Unless that's Cas just assuming that's why he's surprised, when meanwhile he's probably like, shit, I've been busted. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. He's not supposed to be out there, maybe? I don't know.
So Cas immediately runs out of the fight to go guard the maiden. And as Cas is running, he witnessed a mortal guard whose hand was all messed up because of a craven bite. And he witnessed the mortal end his own life because of what he was going to turn into. And he only had a few seconds to do it because if we remember with Joel, that the poison in the craven will like not allow you to do that once it like
you can't even
hold.
touch the bloodstone. Like,
yes. So he said it was the most heroic, loyal, and brave thing he's ever seen anybody do, and that the Ascended do not deserve to have guards with so much honor.
It's so true.
Yes.
I wrote a note on that. I'm like, they really don't deserve, like,
no.
That's such an incredibly selfless thing for him to do.
Without question, to just be able to make a decision like that, like, that's the best type of person that is willing to do that for the sake of other people's safety. So, Cas slips through a little opening in the gate, thanks to Jansen, and starts to climb the rise as it's the quickest way to get to where he needs to go. Cas then notices something in the corner of his eye, somebody crouching in an archer's nest. And I get to chapter's close.
Take her away.
Anything here? So the person in the archer's nest, they're getting a bow ready and they release an arrow firing at the craven. Cas then realizes that this person sitting there shooting arrows is in fact the maiden.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. All right. Next chapter 31 AK. You're an absolutely stunning, murderous little creature.
I should have worn my shirt today.
You should.
That says that quote.
You should.
So our chapter starts with Cas seeing Poppy, thinking she's a goddess given mortal form, and I wrote, he's not totally wrong.
Yeah, he's not.
She is, in fact,
exactly
a goddess.
The nail on the head.
Yes. And she points an arrow at his head, and he doesn't know whether to laugh or to shout. So he ends up speaking, saying she is magnificent, beautiful, and his mind races. So
he loves her.
Yeah. He decides he's gonna see how far he can take things, which he knows already will be too far because that's how he rolls. And he speaks to her. I read it as like, oh, I don't know you're the maiden. Like, who are you? What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
And then he realizes
he's like,
the bow.
Let's see how long she'll let this go.
Yeah.
He realizes the bow she's holding is her bow, which again shocks him. He makes note that she walked with the haughtiness, I think I'm reading that right, of a princess, and forgot he called her that in the Red Pearl. This made me sad because remember, I was like, he's calling her princess because she's going to be his princess. I'm like, damn it.
You're like, crap, that's not why.
I like that theory too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as they go back and forth, Poppy gets annoyed and she kicks his legs out from underneath him, almost getting him to fall. Cas chases her and she throws her dagger at him, which she catches. And I feel like they actually say he catches the hilt here, and I remember we talking about that because you said it's not a fucking butter knife.
Actually, that's so funny. I have a note here. I just thought it was funny because it brings you back to the first time we read this, right? From Poppy's perspective. And I feel like it's comical being on Cas's side of it because from my memory of Poppy, like she's pissed and annoyed and she's like, F, I'm gonna get caught. I wish this guy would just leave me the F alone. I need to get out of here. And so she's like one way, and then Casteel is like, this is entertaining, this is hilarious. Like, and it's like they couldn't be thinking any more opposite things in this moment, and they both don't realize how opposite their experience of this moment is. And I thought it was really cool.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I know. So then he catches the dagger and Poppy flees. So sorry, Cas my note, I'm like, Poppy flees. They fight. So I'm like, Cas must have followed her here. Fine. I don't know what I was doing with these notes.
That's okay.
So they fight, and they only pause as Poppy has her woven bone dagger at Cas's throat, and she draws blood. And Cas, I wrote, to the surprise of none of us, feels lust at her actions and her boldness and her bravery.
It's like, wow, this is so hot. I almost died.
Is my woman. I at least like that he's like, oh, she's so bold and brave. Like, that's where I'm feeling lust.
Yeah.
And then this is where we get the line where he says, you're an absolutely stunning, murderous little creature. He comments on the dagger and again calls her princess, saying they have to talk. And Poppy denies, nope, we don't need to. It's fine.
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
Yep. They go back and forth as they talk, as Cas is wanting to like rile her up and saying like he would give her just about anything except letting her go silent. He doesn't want that. So as they continue to talk, Cas says he knew the moment she took off the veil who she was, though he knew before, he just couldn't say. The chapter ends as Cas baits her to try and say what the Duke might do if he told him that she got out and was helping on the rise. But Poppy doesn't answer, and Cas tells her to hurry back to her chambers, and they will have this conversation later.
And I love when he's like inner monologuing. He's like, I have so many questions. And I'm like, ha!
The tables have turned.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Chapter 32, That Dress Will Be the Death of Me. So the chapter starts with Casteel washing the blood off his face and putting away his broadsword and thinking to himself that he had a lot of questions. And then he could no longer think of the maiden as the maiden and that she was just Penelope. And he honestly hadn't thought of her as the maiden since the night of the Red Pearl. Casteel realized that he also no longer wanted to think of her as the maiden. And he could only think of who she was and was not trying to force himself into the mindset of, nope, she's just the maiden, which I think is huge because he's always been like, nope, don't get too attached. Don't get too attached. And I was like, no, I want what is happening. I like this. Casteel tries to think about when that moment happened. And he was like, I think it was obviously when she was on the rise, but he's like, was it when she kicked her legs out from underneath of me? Or was it when she threw that dagger at my face? But he's like, that was kind of the moment, which is like really telling of his character. Like those are the things that made that change happen.
Get the juices flowing.
Oh yeah. All the juices. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh, this is painting
Boost
a picture.
juice.
Boost juice. Oh my God. Sorry, listeners. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Mom. Cas is also thinking to himself how when he was out on the rise, it was the first moment that he wasn't thinking about why he was there. He wasn't thinking about his brother. He wasn't thinking about like the plan. He was just existing and living in the moment, not just surviving. And I feel like, again, another big moment for him. And he's kind of coming out of the darkness finally. Cas was outside Penelope's chambers, and he could hear Tawny speaking and saying how there will be a lot of black flags raised tomorrow. And then Cas knocks on the door. Tawny opens the door and says, Penelope is sleeping. And Cas is like, yeah, doubtful. And then just like pushes past her. Yeah. And of course, she is in her bed, pulling her fingers through her braid as she's unraveling it. She is unveiled, and he felt frozen in time for a few minutes as he took her in. Cas then closed the door behind him and immediately thinks, I immediately think, about the rules of if you're in here with Poppy, the door has to remain open. And I thought like, oh no, something bad's going to happen. But also we know what happens and nothing bad happens.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I'm paranoid for no reason. Cas says it's time to have that talk, princess, and tells Tawny that her services are no longer needed tonight. And Poppy's like, you do not have the authority to dismiss her. And then Cas is like, well, Tawny poses a threat. And that threat is that she's just going to lie and say how you were asleep. And I know for a fact that you're on the rise. And she's a threat to, like, basically me finding out this information and potentially your safety as a result. And he then says the greatest threat is Poppy to herself. And Tawny is like, yeah, he's got a point here. And he's like, I really like her. So Poppy does dismiss Tawny and says it's fine, you can go. And she was like, oh, how dare you? Like,
How dare you, you traitor.
Yes. I love that Tawny sasses back and she's like, I'll see you in the morning, princess, or whatever.
Princess.
And, yeah. Which was awesome. So, excuse me. After Tawny leaves, Cas is just like staring at her and then says, you have beautiful hair. And it catches Poppy off guard. And then Cas realizes that caught me off guard. Like, why did I say that? It's because you're in love. And you can't help it. So now Cas is saying, like, I couldn't help but look at her. And she was just perfection. All of this, like, so as I'm listening to this, I'm like, this is sweet and everything, but I also feel like he's just looking at her body and judging it. He's basically like, yep, her body is pretty good for me. And like, yep, I'm happy with, he's literally like the swell of her breasts and the way her waist curves in and then curves out. And it's like, the approval of her body is not like important, Cas. And I was really getting the ick from him on this because he was talking about her being perfect, but everything he was talking about was her appearance. It wasn't like her bravery. It wasn't her boldness on the rise. Like in this moment when he's talking about her being perfection, he's only talking about what her body looks like. And I was like, please don't do that to me right now. I want to love you, and I am doing the opposite right now. So yes, it's always sexual and blah blah blah, and he's not like, oh, you're
didn't get the ick that time, but I'm surprised I didn't. As you're re-listening him, I'm like, but he mentioned it last chapter, so maybe that's why I didn't get the ick that time.
He was, and like he always even will say like, oh, like you're beautiful, which again is fine, but I feel like when you say it all the time, it's insinuating that's like what the most important thing is to you versus like you're so brave, you're so whatever.
Yes.
I will say, though, that this inner monologue about her looks, if I remember correctly, was like it like he first was talking about like how like, oh, the Duke wanted me to think she was ugly because of her scars, and like I see past those scars and she's beautiful and blah blah blah. I thought,
I don't know. I don't remember him talking about the scars
just
at all,
before
but
that.
maybe it did. I don't remember it, but it very well could have happened, and I'm just clouded by my. Stop talking about her body, Cas. So if he did, then I do agree that it's like she's more than that. But he literally is like the swell of her breasts.
I know.
I'm like, guy. So anyways, also, I started to get really annoyed. I don't know if it was this chapter or if it's just the set of chapters, but the amount of times that he says intrigued, I was like, okay, find another word. It is always intrigued. There was like one point where it was like 3 times in like a paragraph. And I'm like, okay,
really?
yes. And now
that's
like,
funny.
once I like, I noticed it, I was like, oh, now I can't,
you can't
like
unsee it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
So
thesaurus, Jennifer.
Always intrigued. Yes. The nice thing is it's always with Cas, so at least there's like that. It's not like every character and the description is intrigued. It's like a specific like feeling that he has with Poppy. But I was like,
one of the Sarah J. Maas isms that drives me fucking nuts is she will say like, padded into the room. He padded into the room. I'm like, can you just say fucking walk just once? Why does it always have to be pat? And like, and it's in all of her series, all of them.
Oh,
watch, she'll
gonna,
pick
like,
it up in Akatar now.
I'm gonna. That's so funny.
Oh,
Padded, like pitter patter,
into
like
the room.
It makes me think of like a cat, like the way that they like trot. In.
Yes.
Yeah, and I get she's trying to talk. I think she's trying to say like walking lightly, but like she uses it not like that. Like she uses it all anyway.
Just anytime
Just
someone
listen
is
for it the
moving their
next time
bodies.
you're reading.
I will. That's so funny. I will, and I'll text you and be like, "It is happening."
Padded 1,
and now
padded
I
2.
can't. Yeah, can't unnotice it.
Or picking nails. She does that one a lot too. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, really?
As he picked his nails. As she picked her nails. I'm like, oh my God.
I've never noticed any of these
Oh,
things.
you will now. You will now.
I
all
knew
the
that
time.
there's one with like lint or something.
Yeah, she's big
But-
on lint on the yeah. Yeah, anyway. I love Sarah J. Maas. Please don't take that wrong, but
That's
yeah, it drives
funny.
me nuts. Yep. Anywho, continue.
So Cass tells Poppy that she is nothing like he expected, and due to her like obviously being on their eyes, but also like her being at the Red Pearl, and Poppy was like, that was the first time that I had ever been at the Red Pearl. She admitted to the reason why she was on the second floor, and that it was because Victor was at the Red Pearl, and she knew that he would recognize her, and that a woman that she saw told her that the room would be empty. And then she said, like, I'm just telling you this because, like, I want to tell you the truth of, like, why and what had happened. Cass says, but you did know who I was. And she said, yes, of course. But why I decided to stay in the room is not up for discussion.
Which
and
I loved.
Cass dropped it. And I was happy about that. Like, this was no Kieran.
Boundaries were set and respected.
Yeah. I loved that he was like, okay. And he didn't push that. He asked, like, different questions, but that was totally fine. So Poppy then asks him, like, what are you going to do about me being on the rise? Casteel pieces things together and says, well, it was Victor that trained you, wasn't it? And he confirms that because they're close and that he's been with her since she arrived in Macedonia, that he assumed it had to have been him. Poppy then says, like, you've been asking a lot of questions, and Cass is like, well, I'd be stupid not to ask questions about the person I'm literally supposed to protect with my life. And Poppy's like not answering any of them. Casteel then questions, what would the Duke do if I told him? And she said, it doesn't matter. And then he said, why did you say you don't know what you would do if I told him then? And Cass explains, like, I saw both you and Tawny acting strange as soon as you were summoned by the Duke. And he thinks about, like, the herbs that he saw near her and that he knows that they can help heal wounds. So he's like, what did he do to you?
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to get it out of her, and she will not tell him. And he's like, I will find out one way or the other. And she's like, oh, you think so, huh? And kind of like calls that. Yeah, exactly. And then he feels that prickle on the nape of his neck. So that's why I was like, is she feeling him out at this point? Or is it like, maybe it is like the bond here because he's like caring deeply about something, right? That's like happening to her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then Cass says to Poppy, it feels strange, doesn't it? How we feel like we've known each other for forever. You feel it too, don't you? And then as soon as he says it, he's like, oh my gosh. He says, I want to punch myself in the dick, I think was his exact words. And he's like, why did I just say that?
He's like so embarrassed.
Which is not typical of him, right? Like,
yes.
It's not usual.
He's like, he can't control himself around her. It's so cute.
I was like,
he's like,
I'm falling
apart. Yes, literally. So Poppy just kind of doesn't say anything and says, why were you on the rise? No, sorry. Poppy doesn't say anything. And then Casteel asks, why were you on the rise? And then she says, it's obvious, isn't it? And he says, well, your motivation wasn't. At least tell me that. What drove you to go up there? Poppy then tells him about her craven attack. And she said how so interesting. We go back to the night when she was attacked by the craven, and two things that she says that stuck out to me. One was, yes,
I picked up on this too.
That a woman that was staying at this inn grabbed Ian and saved him and brought him into
took him into a secret room or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that sounds like an intentional thing.
Could it have been Millie?
I put that too. I said perhaps Millie, but we know that Malek went there to potentially kill Poppy, and I don't think Millie knew that. I feel like I remember Malek saying she would have been mad if she had known that he went to go kill her sister. So I don't think it was. At first, I thought I have in my notes, is it Millie? But then I was like, I don't know.
I think you're right.
I feel like there was a conversation about like Millie didn't know I was going to go do what I was going to do, and that
I think
she
you're
would
right
be
there,
very
Amanda.
upset. So I'm like, but like who?
But who is this
though?
woman?
Right, somebody.
Just when we thought we've learned everything about that dream, there's more.
Something freaking happens.
Yeah,
and then I also so It's in my notes. I'll just keep reading. So Poppy says the Dark One wanted me dead then, but wants me alive now, which is interesting because, like, obviously the Blood Crown, like, changed their narrative to her, and I wonder why and at what point that changed. Like, I thought it was weird. Cass told her it was not your fault that your parents were killed because she was saying to Cass, like, obviously this is a lie, but she said that my family was told, like, not to move away, but they wanted to, and that the craven would follow me because I was chosen or something like that. So she kind of feels responsible. Like, she thinks she brought the craven.
Yeah.
When that's not true. So Cass is like, it's not your fault. Because she was told the Dark One would come after her. Cass then asked if she remembered anything else, and Poppy said that no one knew how to fight, and that
which is interesting because that's
yes,
a lie.
because that's a lie. Because her mom was literally a revenant, like the most killing machine. So, like, yes, she knew how to fight, and I was wondering.
And her dad was Victor.
So why is there no memory of anyone fighting back? They must have.
Why indeed?
Like, don't we like at first when Poppy first starts remembering this, like, she slowly remembers more. So I wonder if at this point in her memory, she doesn't remember them fighting, and then maybe she's been told, oh, they didn't know how to fight.
But I feel like even now, though, we've never heard of anybody fighting. We hear about them talking, like, how could you? And then
the mom pulls out the dagger, remember? The Shadowstone dagger?
But that's it, though. She just pulls out a dagger. It's not like there's no, like, even the fact that her mom doesn't die there. Like, the queen takes her and, like, forces her to drink Draken blood. So, like,
I think I assumed there was fighting.
Like,
you're right. They don't actually say.
But they're never talk about it. Malek was there. He was like, I see now. He had, like, a knife to Poppy's throat or close to or something. And then he changed his mind. And then just the Craven came. And maybe she was getting attacked by Craven and they were fighting the Craven at this point. So she doesn't have memory of that fight because she was being attacked by Craven. But I just thought it was interesting because everybody that was there definitely knew how to protect themselves.
Right.
And it's funny hearing this.
Yes.
That's the reason she's wanted to learn to fight when that's actually not even the truth of the situation.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Very interesting.
Very.
Poppy basically says, like, if she goes down, she'll go down fighting. Cass calls her brave, and she says, no, I think that it's fear. And he was basically like, it's one and the same. You can't be... People are brave because they fear something and they do it anyways, kind of thing.
Right. Yes. They do it despite the fear.
Yes. So then because they were talking about Craven, Poppy says, as long as there are Atlanteans, there will always be Craven. And which was just kind of funny. And Cass has to remind himself,
like, yeah,
like,
totally.
she only knows this because she's been fed lies. Like, it's okay.
Deep breaths, deep breaths.
Yes. And based off of a hunch and what he heard from Joel when he was talking about the maiden and the death and dignity, he does question her about that. And she kind of denies it because obviously she'd get in, like, huge, huge trouble. And he said, like, I didn't believe it at first either. And then he basically says to her, like, I do it too, when he did it once with Joel. But he's like, I help the people just the way that you help them. And he was hoping that would help her, like, feel safe in admitting to him that, like, yes, I am doing this. I go into chapter's end. Kind of thing. So chapter ends with Poppy and Cass kind of having a little stare down after he admits to also helping people die with dignity, and Poppy doesn't admit or anything, so they're just staring at each other. And he thinks to himself, like, I need her to trust me, even though she doesn't trust me now. And then he says, I want her to trust me. So it's another one of those inklings there to the fact that she means more to him than his mission now. He's admitting, without realizing he's admitting it, that he wants her trust and doesn't need it. And it's more of a desire. So then Poppy then asks that all you have to say about me, is that all you have to say about me being on the rise? And Cass says, no, actually, next time wear better shoes. Those slippers are going to be the death of you. And then he says, and I can't tell by the audiobook if he says this to her or inner monologuing to himself, but he says that dress is going to be the death of me.
He speaks it.
Does he?
Yeah, he says it to her, yeah. Love it.
So our last chapter.
It was a short one.
Yeah.
It was. I was like, oh, thank God.
Chapter 33, Good
I was reading this late at night.
Graces. Yes. I know. I had to do the summary like right before we got on the call. And I'm like, oh, it's a short one. I'm fine.
It's a quickie.
Yeah. I had to watch Big Brother. It's fine.
You're like, I had important
Priorities.
things to do.
Yes. Okay. So, Good Graces. We start off with Victor speaking to Cas, questioning him on why he's keeping his silence about Poppy being on the rise. And Cas is like, why didn't you ask me this last night? And Victor kind of says like, well, I had time to think on it and I'm asking now. So I feel like Cas kind of plays it light, like he's like, oh, technically I did report it. I reported her to you. Like, that's a superior. And they kind of continue to speak. Cas is saying like, he understands why she would want to be serious about her protection, given like what's happened. Victor's like, most people would still like report her. And Cas is like, I'm not most people. And then like Victor tries to play dumb. Oh yes, because Cas is like, I know. And Victor's like, what do you know? I don't know what you know. And Cas is like, you taught Poppy how to fight, like I know.
Yeah, I'm not an idiot.
And you're like, you did good or whatever. And like he's like, Victor's like, I didn't do a good enough job though, because she didn't knock you over.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm like, I don't think she could have knocked her, not knowing what she is and her power. I don't think she could have knocked him over, and
Right.
I don't think Victor knows that either. But it's like that's the fact that she did knock him down is pretty impressive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Victor kind of continues on saying like it doesn't make sense. Like Cas could use this information to get in the Tierman's good graces, but he's like, oh no, I think I know. Like you just want to be in her good graces, and Cas is like, yep.
Oh,
yep,
shit.
No
it's
idea.
fine. Yeah, he's like, you want her trust. Victor says like, you want her trust, and Cas says that yes, he does, but it's just so that he can do his duty. And then I go into chapter's end.
We'll send.
So we end with Cas and Victor still speaking. Victor telling Cas that he can be right, but still be wrong after where they're going back and forth. He had said to Victor, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't need to know like my motives for us to just do our duties. And Victor's like, yeah, you're right. And that's when he's like, you're right, but you can still be wrong.
And that's it.
how
That's
we
all.
end.
That's all, folks. Okay. That ends our chapter coverage for this episode, but the best part's coming up, and it's our bookish breakdown.
It is my turn to host since I won and I'm in first.
Boo. I'm in last.
But you can't get a point this time.
No, I cannot get a point. So, Amanda, we know I'm in first because I just said it. Can you let us know what our standings are?
Yes, and I'm really excited about this, and you guys are going to think I'm lame, but I can't really reach this very well anymore, and I saw this at the dollar store.
Oh
So I
my
can-
gosh. For our
It's-
audio listeners, she's got a pointer
I
finger.
love
I'll
it.
just
Oh
stick
my
with literally-
god.
So, oh God. Kristen is over here with 6 points. Katie in second place, 5 points. And I'm in a little old last place with 4 points. You can't even see the tick there because it's so dark. But there's 4 there.
Thank you, Professor Amanda.
I love that little
Just
hand
picking
thing.
her
I'm
nose.
like,
I'm like, this is sick. I can't not buy it.
so funny.
okay. So I have a fun, hopefully fun little game for you guys to play. So it's sort of like word association, but you guys are playing with each other. I'm just here to supervise. So I am going to text one of you, person, place, thing kind of idea. And you're going to have to get the other person to guess it by only saying one word. So, and like nouns, you can't just say like things. So I have an example.
Okay.
So like, say I text one of you, Zayden. So you could say things like professor, shadows, power, blue, like his power, his blue dragon, he's a professor, kind of that idea.
But we can only say one?
You can only say one word.
Like
one
at a time or
word.
total?
Yes, at a time. So like,
oh, okay. I'm like,
You could
this is
say-
gonna be impossible.
no.
Is it like one guess kind of thing? Like say one word guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can
Okay.
be like professor, and Katie, like Amanda, could be like
Got you.
Snape, and you'd be like,
Oh,
yes. You'd be like, no,
Okay.
shadows. That kind of idea.
Okay.
And like, you can't say like, sort of. It's kind of yes or no.
yes or no?
Okay.
Okay.
And like, you can't give like very obvious hints. Like, you couldn't do like
Ryerson Gale when
Yes,
it's like
yes.
her Violet.
Ryerson. Yes,
Okay.
that's a good one. So
Okay.
I have 7. We can see how
Okay.
it goes. Who
And
would
is it
like
who-
to?
Is it whoever does it in the least amount of guesses? Like what? How do we know if we win?
You know
like-
what? I forgot. And I'm going to set a timer. So you want to guess?
Okay.
I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Because
You want to
be the least amount
guess-
of like words. Like if I could guess it
Yes.
after 3 words, and then Katie guesses hers after 5 words, I would get the point because I only needed 3 like
Yes. We'll do
hints.
that.
I don't know if that's the right word. Is it hints? Yeah.
Yeah. Words. Or I could set a
Okay.
timer. However you guys prefer.
The only problem with the timer is if the person
You
is
don't get
slow to give their like if they go
Yes. So-
dragon.
Yes.
Let's go words. Yeah, let's go words.
Words.
Because I may strategically drag out my words.
Dumbledore.
That's funny.
Who would like to be the guesser
Rock, paper,
first?
scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. And
Okay,
the winner
on
can
shoot?
decide who goes first.
Okay.
Because you might not want to. Okay, ready? Rock, paper,
Yep.
scissors, shoot.
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn it.
Snippy.
Snippy my paper.
I
Rude.
think I want to go first.
Oh, good.
So
Like I
you
want to be
want
the guesser.
to-
I want to be able to earn points first. Because I'll panic if I
So
get
I'm
behind right
texting
away.
Katie.
At least I get an option to get ahead.
Oh, I
yeah.
guess I better grab my phone.
And then if I don't get it, then I'll super panic now because.
Okay. Okay. Okay,
Oh, okay. I'm nervous.
All right. Flower.
Penelope?
No.
She's a poppy. Okay. Wait, what is it? It could be person, place, or thing. Is that correct? Did you say that
Yeah.
or did you not say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Red.
Okay. If I say Penelope, is it Poppy?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
I
I,
was
would
like,
have
did you see me
counted
pause? I'm like,
Penelope.
No.
I know. I was like, if I say Penelope and then not Poppy, I'm so annoyed that I didn't just
Because
say Poppy.
Penelope is not a flower. Poppy is.
I know. I'm annoyed with myself. Why would I just not say Poppy? God.
Anyway, 2 was really good. I started with way too
I'm
easy for
so
you.
annoyed that I got it and I wasn't smart enough to be like, say the it literally is Poppy. That's the flower you meant. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Twice in a row. I know.
Okay. Mythical.
Magic.
No. Just my next word was going to be magic. That was so funny.
Try again. What's your next word?
Immortal. I hope that's a good, if that counts.
Fairies? Fae? Fairies, fae?
Oh, I was going to make you pick one. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of like you said fairy and I said Penelope and then you got to say fae and I couldn't say Poppy.
But fae
it's
is short
fine.
for fairies.
So was
Yes.
Poppy short for Penelope?
That's fair. That's fair. All right,
You
Kristen,
both have
decide.
2.
It's okay. It's a tie. I'm okay
Okay.
with it being tie.
Okay.
This is the problem with you and me.
I know, it's so competitive. Getting out the rule book.
I actually thought that was going to be really hard, so I'm surprised that you got that already.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to explain this?
Oh yeah, I need my phone.
Yeah. I
He's, like,
I
waiting,
sent
like-
it to you.
Fuck. Okay.
Uh-oh. That does not sound good for me to have to figure this out.
I just gave
what
you
were
the
you gonna say,
wrong
Kristen?
one.
You gave me
I
the
felt
wrong
like-
one?
No, it's fine. You can have that one. I'll just
I
switch.
was gonna say you can't take it back now.
No.
Because
I don't know
Amanda
it.
just gets the one. It's fine. I thought Amanda's was harder.
Okay. Frig, I don't know. I feel like it's either going to be way fucking obvious or impossible, and I can't find a medium ground.
You can go the impossible route first. Make it a little challenging.
Handheld. She said I could go impossible first.
Wand?
No. Weapon.
Oh my god. Is this going to be like really specific, like bloodstone dagger?
No, it's not.
Or can I say like dagger? Dagger.
No. Sheathed.
Sword? Broadsword?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I'm like, how the fuck do I describe this?
Yeah, you're right. Because that one gave it away right away when you said that.
Yes.
Man.
Handheld. That was a good, like...
I know. I'm like...
I'm like, of all the words you could have chosen, you went.
I know. And I'm like...
I'm
is
like,
it Harry
metal?
Potter's wand?
Like, sharp?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Mythical.
That shouldn't be allowed. Okay. Vampire.
No. Flying.
Hippogriff.
Are you fucking kidding me? You don't go to dragon? Hippogriff is your first flying mythical creature that pops into your head?
It's Harry Potter.
I
really
know.
surprised.
I literally was like, I can probably get a few more guesses out of you if I say flying, because you'll go with dragon first, obviously. And you say fucking hippogriff. I could have made that way more challenging too. I did not expect that to go that way at all.
Oh,
damn it.
Fantastic.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
Makes me so mad.
Oh, my head hurts.
Okay.
You have your next
Go ahead.
word.
Okay. Blue.
I feel like you're playing mind games with me. Like, is it Zayden? Because I'm not guessing. This is not my final answer. This is me just thinking aloud. But Kristen's like, for example, you could say blue for Zayden because this dragon's that color. And then Katie's like, blue. And I'm like, are you fucking
I could have just
messing
said
with me?
fucking mythical.
I know. I
and
literally
over
thought that
again.
would be so funny. Blue. Okay. Woven.
Fuck off! Get out of here! Fuck you!
I can't believe I just did that. I was like,
so much. So much.
I was like, what else is blue? And then I was
I'm like,
Katie was on Blue Eye Watch. It's got to be woven.
Fuck.
Yes, that feels so good.
That's amazing.
If I
was like,
don't
Blue,
win
she's
this,
never gonna
I
get
am
this.
happy with that. Like that. I can't believe I did that.
Fuck off.
I cannot believe that.
I looked
That
at
was a
Kristen's
good,
face
like,
and she's
that
like,
was-
Katie, that was not a good enough hint. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Oh, that's so funny. That was
Damn
really
it.
just good luck there, honestly.
Like my hippogriff.
You have your next.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Oh, yeah.
next word, Manda. Oh, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Your first hint is challenge.
Okay, my mind went to two places, two different book series. And I don't know which one to go to first. I feel like Harry Potter is probably not likely, so I'm going to go with my other one. Hunger Games.
Death.
Triwizard Tournament.
No. First.
God, I don't know. It's not the Maze Runner, is it? I don't think either of you have read that before. The Maze Runner?
No, I don't know what that is. Boot.
The Parapet?
Yes.
Ah.
Once you said
Damn boot.
first, challenge, death. I was like, holy shit, that seems really obvious now. The word I was going to say was trials instead of challenge, but I'm like, does that make it seem like someone
Oh.
undergoes a trial? And I don't want that to like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then I'm like, challenge. We got challenge.
Okay, so you both have a point. So
So you need
Tiebreaker
two
round?
I
more
have-
things? Is
Two
that
more
one
I've
correct?
came
Okay.
2 more words. Yep.
Okay. You're texting me now?
I'm texting you now.
Okay.
Harder than you think.
I know I don't want to be too obvious, but I want to give decent.
I know it's hard, especially because we're like tiebreaker. Like you don't want to be like a dick and make it impossible, but you don't want to like throw away your point.
Right. Old.
God, I had a guess, but I'm like, it's about fourth wing, and I'm like, I don't think you'd do 2 fourth wings in a row, would you? Or would you to put me off? Old. We've had one Harry Potter.
You never know.
I know. We've had one Quicksilver. We haven't really had a Hunger Games one. Snow, that freaking Snow guy from Hunger Games. I don't know what his
President Snow.
What is his real name?
Cordelius.
Something like that. Anyway, I digress. Saved.
Okay, Ward. Like the
Ward?
wards.
Oh no. I was
That
like,
my
who's
first
Ward?
guess because I'm like they're old and they save people. I'm like, man, that was my first thought, and I'm like,
Isn't that Todd's grandpa? That's
yeah. That is so funny. Ward, yeah, that is his grandpa's name. That's funny. You're like, who?
Yeah, that's the only word I know. Oh lordy. Okay. Faye.
Well, not Dumbledore then. That was kind of like my next. I'm like, oh, he's old. He saves old. Saves.
No,
Faye.
saved.
Saved.
Duh.
Old saved. Faye. Not a Faye or old. It could be Cas because he's old and was saved, arguably. And it could also be Kingfisher if we're gonna argue. Like, I'm gonna go with Cas.
No.
Oh, he's not Faye. I'm so stupid.
I know. I was like, I ain't gonna correct you.
He's a
I almost said something and I was like, oh, I can't.
Oh, God, that's so annoying. Why was I like even considering that? At least I caught it after, but that's so dumb. What a waste. What a waste of a guess.
Sorry.
That's my own stupidity.
That's
so
Prince.
Annoying. Kingfisher?
No.
Okay, good. I would have been mad.
Funny.
Carrion.
Yes.
I love Carrion. Damn it. I was so close. If I wouldn't have done that stupid guess, I might have got it one guess sooner.
Yeah.
I was like,
All
would you
right.
like do an Akatar one? Because I'm like, I don't really know much about them. But I was thinking Tamlin, because I assume he's old.
Yes.
And is he Faye? That counts. And then you said
Yeah.
funny. I'm like, well, he ain't funny. So
Yeah.
back to... That's funny. Oh, God. Faye.
Okay, Faye. Resand.
Negatory. What can I say now? Akatar.
Lucian.
No. Lands.
Springcourt.
No. God, what the heck else am I going to say now? Wall? No. Wall? Does that make sense what I'm saying, Kristen, if I say wall? Or do you think that's stupid?
I mean, I feel like at this point it's out there.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Valaris?
I literally don't know what to say. Realm? I don't know if that's a good thing either, though.
Okay, so we've got Faye, we've got Realm, we've got Wall, we've got Akatar, and we've got Lands.
Yes.
I don't know. Court of Nightmares?
No. Courts?
Is it Prithian?
Yeah.
Damn it. Motherfucker.
I know, I'm like, I don't know the words to say without
I
saying
was getting
Prithian.
way too fucking specific.
I
Damn
know.
it.
So,
I lost by 1, didn't I?
you did.
Fuck.
And I literally was trying to be helpful. I'm like, I just don't know what else to say without saying
I
Prithian.
know.
Like, I'm like,
No,
the
that was
land
good.
it's on.
Yeah, no, those
Yeah.
are good. I'm just dumb. Damn it. I'm so mad at myself.
I think Prithian was the first location I threw in, so I kind of threw you there.
So I like won. I get a point.
So you won.
Yeah,
You won.
you do.
The roof is on fire. All right, folks. I'm tied now for last. Instead of in last, I'm tied.
we at least say tied for second? It sounds better.
Yeah. And it also looked like I drew 2 lines, but I was just darkening my 4 because it was not there very well. Sure. That's so funny.
All right,
Yay.
friends. So that concludes our Bookish Breakdown, and we're going to wrap up our episode here. So, Professor Katie, putting on her hat, we are going to be covering A Soul of Ash and Blood, chapters 34 through 44, a.k.a. From Blood and Ash to the Duke, up to and including the Duke. So that is your homework for next week. And Amanda, you want to...
Confusing having Blood and Ash. I was like, it's the Blood and Ash series. Why are you saying From Blood and Ash? It's a chapter name.
That's the chapter name.
Yes, if you could like what we're doing. If you don't like what we're doing, let us know. Give us suggestions. Suggestions. Let us know what you think. We are on all of your favorite social media platforms at Your Bookmark Pod. And you can also email us, yourbookmarkpod@gmail.com. Let us know. We want to hear from you.
Sign us off, Kristen.
So with that, we're going to put our bookmarks into our book, and we will see you at our next chapter. Bye!
Bye!